And buonasera a tutti. Good evening, everybody. Back on another Thursday night. Get the approaching end of yet another week, and that means another hour plus with the one of the best teams in the business. I don't want to discount Shane on our other shows, but
It
with
counts. We're the same team anyway.
Yeah.
good point. Good point. Yes, Shane is always here in spirit, even when he's doing coaching meetings and Lord knows what else. And with that, going to introduce, as always, my brothers who have helped elevate this show to just the newest of new levels and always continuing to climb. Up there on the top left, Mr. Robert Zalosi coming from West Coast. How you doing, Rob?
I just took a nap. Duke almost got to the brink with Siena. What the hell's going on? High Point winning. This is already such a crazy start. VCU North Carolina's on right now. I've been excited for this matchup the moment it got announced. This has already been a great tournament. I'm really excited to talk about it. This has been a fun tournament so far.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it too. I haven't gotten to see a ton of the games, but I've at least seen some of the results and some of the recaps. I'll talk about my bracket snafu in a moment here because y'all were privy to that. But before we get into that, to the top right, probably the only other person I can think of who was actually super excited by Ali Sanchez and the way he ended a spring training game today. Brandon, how you doing, boss?
I'm good, man. Listen, if you're like me, I'm probably one of the very, very few people that do I love March Madness and what it entails, yeah, and what it's about. Yes. Do I care until the Sweet 16? No, I do not.
I will say
Um,
though, it's really hard to watch 12 hours of college basketball.
I can't.
I have to take a nap in the middle of the day, or else I'm not going to be able to focus on the night slate.
Football's
I
no problem. Football's no problem, but basketball I can't do.
basketball, and I want to, but I'm always tired because the game. Yeah, it's a 9:15 start for the morning slate, but it's just like 9:15. Like I'm just like, bro, really? We're going like I get it. I get how it works. I know the structure of how this thing works, but it's a lot, man. It's a lot, so I always need to take a rest because if I don't take a rest in the middle of the day, I'm not going to be ready for the night slate ever.
Yeah.
So yeah. So here's the thing: Siena didn't play their bench, so I was like, okay, but I guess this kind of brings up a question because the thing that I'm trying to figure out when it comes to March Madness is last year. Remember last year? Last year there weren't that many upsets, and a lot of it was due to the NIL situation primarily because a lot of the like mid-major schools, like your High Points this year, like your Sienas, a lot of those top players are going to go to bigger programs. That's kind of what we've seen.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're going to have a couple 12-5 upsets here and there, whatever, I think was High Point at 12-5. I forgot. It was a 12-5.
Yeah, it's 12.
Yeah, it was 5. So you're going to have your 12-5. You're going to have, some random like a 16 versus 1 kind of be tight. And so the thing that I'm trying to figure out now with March Madness, at least on the men's side, the women's side is pretty chalky every year. On the men's side, it's like, okay, we're changing NIL, making the big programs, the temple programs, stronger. But if you look at like a Duke game, Wisconsin game, and it's not to excuse those games, it's not to excuse those teams because, they play tight games, they're good teams. The thing that I'm kind of struggling with is, okay, when we get later in the tournament, the big schools are going to just dominate. But what happens to a school like Duke when you play Siena and you struggle moving forward into the tournament? What happens to someone like High Point where it's kind of an easier, I mean, we'll see what happens tonight with the 13 seeds. I have to look at the bracket more clearly. But do you see what I mean? It's like, where are we shifting? Are we just shifting to the big programs dominating like we saw last year? Or is there room for a mid-major like a High Point or like a Siena to make an impact in this tournament, not just in round 1, but potentially a Sweet 16. let's go just Sweet 16. And that's going to be my biggest question. And that's my investigation this year and moving forward the next 3 or 4 years with this tournament is, what does this look like for your mid-major schools? Because round one can only tell me so much about what these teams are going to do. When last year, any mid-major that got to the round of 32 got roasted. They got roasted. And Kenny, we're on that right now. Do you guys see what I mean? Where I'm just like, I don't know where to put everybody. I don't know how to showcase the mid-major schools in the right way when NIL is just going to come in and take it.
Well, like remember a few years ago when Shaheen Holloway took St. Peter's far in the tournament,
right? Yeah,
it was like, and they literally put the entire world on notice in that tournament, and it was like, to me, like these mid majors, they're never going to get the money to keep up with the big schools. It's just never going to happen,
especially now. Yeah,
but it's like, but I think like that's why I always say that everything starts. You have to have a foundation first. So, in order for these schools to really compete, I mean, I almost feel like you have to give them, instead of having them, play a lot of, because you got to play your conference so much. But when you get these out of conference games, like, have them play at even more bigger schools, because you're only going to get better if you play bigger schools. So, and you got to. Well, and the thing is, and before you even get to all that stuff about the competition wise and like who they have to play and where they have to play them, you need a lot of these mid majors don't have the right coaching staff. They just don't.
No, they don't at all. And so Kenny was talking about Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio hit 16 threes yesterday. Like, how sustainable is that in college basketball? A lot of these teams shoot a ton of threes, or they have guys who are power forward shooting threes, because that's kind of what the best teams in college basketball don't do that. The best teams in college basketball play it a little bit more 2000s like. Yeah. So, like, that's the thing. Miami of Ohio, I picked them to go, I think, to the round of 16. I still have them winning. But again, the three ball, if you go cold in college basketball, you're screwed. And that's my biggest issue with Miami of Ohio right now. It's like, okay, yeah, they could shoot, but if they go cold, they go cold.
I mean, Brandon and I saw that plenty of times in the Big East this past season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, well, because you know why? Like, especially with the Big East, like the Big East prides itself on being, and this is why the Big East can upset bigger teams, because we were saying that the bigger teams play an older style of basketball.
You said pride yourself on being, and I'm sorry, I just heard the Nick Castellanos line the whole rest of the way. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
But but it's true. Like the bigger schools, they take a lot of pride in being like old school philosophy, old school basketball.
Right.
Grind it out, but still have enough talent to be able to run up the score on you when they need to. And with the Big East, that's why the Big East is like, everybody kind of forgets, but the Big East is important to college basketball, just like a lot of these, like, because the thing is, just like in every sport, defense wins championships. So in the Big East, that's the one thing that the Big East basketball is founded on, more so than any other conference in America, is defense. And just old school physical basketball. And that's what a lot of these, unfortunately, we get a lot of, the Big East gets a lot of guys who are big and strong, but not athletic. Whereas the bigger programs like a Duke, like a North Carolina, what have you, they get guys who are the full package. And so it's really tough to compete when you're a mid-major or you're in a weaker conference or whatever it may be with these bigger schools. You really have to find I know it's easier said than done, but you have to find, if you're going to compete, you've got to find the right coaching staff. You've got to, like, they are grassroots, teams pretty much. They have to build it up from the bottom, because it's just, you're not going to magically have a good season and think you're just going to recruit well, because you're a mid-major. You're not going to recruit well the season after that. And then that's why a lot of these mid-majors, they have one good year and then they're done.
And the other aspect of this, and I think this is kind of what's scaring me. Last year was a red flag for me in a lot of ways when we got to the Sweet 16 because of just the amount of sheer blowouts we had from the top schools. And I expect
the seeding of this is always bizarre to some people in the first place. I mean, you think of how arbitrary certain things can get. I mean, there's a reason why it's actually fairly common for 9 teams to beat 8 teams and so on.
Well, I mean but it is the thing is obviously this is a committee of a bunch of random old heads. It's very similar to college football in that way. And that the college kind of needs it for 68 teams. I get it, but it's just like it's really arbitrary.
Well, to some people, 68 teams is probably an overkill to begin with.
I don't think we need the first 4. The older I get, the more I hate it. We don't need it. We just need flat 64. And
could you imagine the CFP having 64 teams? Good God.
That's what they want to do. That's their end goal.
I know, and it makes me want to drive a railroad spike through my prefrontal cortex.
Before I get there, let me speak on this. This is gonna sound old headish, and Kurt, Kenny, help me out here. So because I need your guys' help here. We need the women's rules in college basketball. 3 years in college and then go to the NBA. Not 1. If we want to make March Madness interesting, we can't just have the boozer kid be in college basketball for 1 year.
Or wasn't Cooper Flag?
Cooper Flag was of course he was one and done. He's one of the. Have you seen how he's played in the NBA? The guys who ready to go.
Almost all the
Duke guys are good. Duke is the best example, in my opinion.
I had seen it not only because he's in the conference, but also because you could convince me that that draft lottery. That's the one draft lottery you could convince me may have been rigged over the past 10 years.
Well, there's been a lot that have been rigged. Your Pels getting Zion was very rigged.
If they were going to rig the draft lottery, why the hell would they put him in New Orleans? They'd put him in New York or something.
Wait, hold on. You don't know why, do you? It's very easy. The Pelicans were going to get relocated if they didn't get Zion. There's no fan interest in that area. There's like none. So that's why. Yeah. There's no national fan interest in that area.
Well, national fan interest, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased because I live like 45 minutes from there, so I do know a decent number.
No one in New Orleans gives a about basketball. Excuse my language.
Yeah, so,
no one cares.
You talk about in the sport, or like in the league itself.
Yeah, no one cares about NBA in New Orleans. Nobody cares.
See, that's what's sad because when I think about what the Nets went through, getting relocated because they were down the dumps. Yeah, and then we got screwed there.
I mean, shit. Even Rob's. I know he wasn't a fan of them, but even Rob's. Sonics going to the Thunder or going.
That was also because of the hurricane, and there were a lot of different pieces that I'm not going to get into. So Kurt, thank you for agreeing with me. This is kind of an old head take, but I just love the women's basketball rules so much more. 3 years, and then you go to the WNBA. And then Kenny's right. 4 quarters instead of 2 halves. We need 4 quarters. 2 20-minute halves is really dumb. We don't need it. To me, it's like it doesn't even speed up the game enough. It doesn't. No. It really doesn't. And then, okay, so last March Madness thing, if we can get to this scoop, my apologies. The last thing I want to rant about with this is they want to do 80 teams. They were talking about it last year.
Please tell me I need to like get my ears checked or something. You did not just say 80 teams.
They want to do close to whatever I think it's like 82, 83. Yeah, they want to do 80 teams. That's their next goal with March Madness is to do like 80 teams.
What's the point of 83? Isn't 83 a prime number? What the hell is the point of 83 teams?
I don't know how they divvy it up. I'm not a math person. But it's around 80. The reason why they want to do this is the CBS. Do you guys know how much the CBS and the Paramount now contract is for March Madness? Do you want to know how much it's valued at?
Yeah, and then I got something after you're finished.
It's like valued at like 1 billion now, like 2 billion. It's like a 2-week thing, and it's valued at a bunch of freaking money. It's just a TV contract. 78. Thank you, Jody. Thank
Okay.
you. 78.
It's still
78
weird, but
teams.
okay.
68 is exhausting anyway.
At least Seton Hall get in now.
At least Seton Hall get in, and probably by UW Huskies get in. It's like we're making it. The TV contracts are so massive for this tournament; they are so big, and they're just like we're gonna add in more and more teams, and it's just like it's all about. Yes, that is true. It's a sports betting
That's a
thing
good
as
point.
well. Kenny's right. It's a sports betting thing as well, but it's not necessary. 68 makes me drown my eyeballs out. I can't watch all these games on a weekend. Because I get too tired.
Well,
My eyeballs
not only,
blow up.
well, not only can't you, but also like some of those games. I mean, how many times have? I mean, we all filled out. Whoops, we all filled out brackets this week, right? At least one. Like,
I filled
how
out.
many-
Yeah, I filled out like men
Yeah.
and women. That's the tradition. Do
yeah,
both.
same here. So we did. So we all know it's the one seeds, the Duke and one thing or another. And then how many times do you see that 16 seed? It's like Northwest East San Jose ball something or other, City College. It's looking at that. I'm like, so all we're gonna do is see much more of that, and people don't. I mean, do people realistically? I mean, sure, it happens once in a blue moon. Do people realistically ever look at that as like, oh, they can beat that number one seed? Like, to me, that's just gonna add much. That's gonna add more games that aren't interesting.
Here's the other problem, and Patrick was asking about the coffee thing. Just give me
Oh,
anything,
Mr.
Patrick.
Wiltsig.
Patrick, I just want give me your best coffee. I just want. I'm so excited. I don't get. But Kenny's right. He's watching a 16 seed versus a 16 seed on True TV on a random Tuesday because of sports betting. But that's the thing. Why is it? And this happens in the women's tournament too. Why do the top seeds why are they on broadcast TV? Why is a 16v1 always on broadcast TV? Who cares?
Because of the one.
Because of
Yeah,
the one. But that's
Well, because
stupid.
of the one, and my guess, and maybe this is a little bit far fetched, but my guess is also, because there's been those couple times in the last however many years that there's been that 16 taking down the one,
Well,
and my
almost
guess,
It's only happened twice. It almost happened
but-
today. So yeah.
yeah, and my guess is they want their network to have it just in case.
Yeah, but the thing is it's splitting it up, and they split it up each day because I think the 1v16, I think in years past,
Excuse me.
I think what is it? I think Thursday CBS gets it, and I think Friday TNT gets it. Jody's like Notre Dame could still get
And
in
my
at
Notre Dame
78.
team couldn't still make a 78 field. Also, yeah, and on
We're
that,
just diluting the damn tournament, which already feels diluted with 68 teams. The
Yeah,
older I
and-
get, the
and-
more diluted it feels.
and that's the problem that I have with CFP expansion. And but one sport at a time. Sport at a time. But
Can I pause you there with the CFB thing?
I barely got played. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so here's the deal. CFB needs 16. We need 16. We need 16. And we need to stop at 16.
Yeah, well, see,
That
that's
should-
the thing. That's the thing. Is like I just don't want this to be like a continuous, like first it's 16, then it's 32, then it's 64, and then before you know it, Middle Tennessee Junior, whatever is getting a bowl game, and I'm like, what the
Big
people who go there don't care about that game.
Big Ten and the SEC had like very minute conversations last year, and if you really listened to it, they were talking about 68 last year.
I know. That's why.
I was like, guys, you don't even get the schedule right with the NFL.
no.
And you want 68 teams.
And again, like I'm saying this as an SEC fan whose team gets 3 free wins every year because of those stupid games. And
Yeah,
Kenny
Kenny said something
Kenny says on the
interesting.
flip side, you make it harder to win it all. More upsets maybe in the middle rounds.
I don't think so because
Yeah,
of NIL is going to make it worse and harder for these guys anyway. And I
Excuse
could be wrong. I need more data. 1 year of data doesn't
Yes,
say much.
same.
But I just I don't know. The more I watch this tournament every year, and as much as I love March Madness, I love it on the men's side, I love it on the women's side. The older I get, the more the first weekend feels so diluted. That for today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
That's why I don't care.
The women's, it feels wildly. It's fun, but it feels like it's fun to an extent. And then you watch some of these games, and it's just like, this feels so diluted, and I can't sit here for like what is it, 100 hours for 5 days watching basketball. I can't.
Why? Because it's not on at 3 a.m. in London.
No, because it's too much. It's too much. I gotta wake up at 7 a.m. I don't like it. Like we need.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not saying contract the field. All I'm saying is 64 teams. We keep the fun of the first weekend.
Yeah.
And we just leave it at that. If we want to do 78, this thing's gonna get so much worse.
And also, again, here I go into the numbers and analytical side of it real quick. But
please do, because this is my point. I'm trying to figure out what the analytics of this is.
Can anyone, like, if it goes to 78, if that's the specific number, can anyone think about what a logistical nightmare 78 games is going to be?
It's not a logistical nightmare for the stadiums because they have too many of them. It's a logistical nightmare for the networks because they're going to have to push the games back. Like if we do 78,
I mean, in terms of the bracketing, in terms of the bracketing itself.
Yeah, no, in terms of bracketing itself, that's why
that's what I meant. I don't give a shit about the arenas.
That's why we need to stop letting 80-year-olds do this and give it to people who actually watch college basketball.
Yeah. Also, I have to ask because I saw it before. I wanted to give Rob a chance to finish his last 4 points, but I'm
just pissed about this. It feels so. The older I get, the more diluted this damn thing feels.
No, it's understandable, and that's that was my argument with the CFP expansion. But anyway, I just have to, because I keep seeing this in the comments, and I feel like my head's spinning around like a robot chicken every time I see it. What the hell are people seeing with St. John's that I'm not seeing? I have them winning one game and then being out.
Are you kidding me, guys? Are you kidding me? Did you see how good they played in the Big East tournament? They have a really good coaching staff.
But that's the thing, is it's the Big East. Everybody beats the
Big East was the Big least this year.
The Big East is so top heavy because every year you can expect how many teams are in a freaking conference? 12, 16, however many there are.
Something like that, yeah.
There's only 3 or 4 every year that are good, and the rest are the rest should all just be mid majors.
The thing is, when it comes to St. John's, what intrigues me, because
there's 11, by the way. There's 11 Big East basketball teams.
11? Why does someone even?
There was more at one point.
At a time.
Yeah, I know a couple teams left, and I don't know. 11's a stupid number. Oh.
The thing is, when it comes to St. John's, that I really like is like you could watch as much college basketball as you want throughout the year, and then when we hit March Madness, it goes poof. Right? Siena almost beat Duke. Yeah. Everything we know about Duke went poof for 2 hours. And that's the thing. Physicality too. But my whole thing is like, what's your coaching staff? Mark Few at Gonzaga, what the Johnnies have, what Duke has. If you have a coaching staff that knows how to deal with March Madness, even though Duke almost lost, that's one of the best coaching staffs in college basketball. That's one of the reasons they actually won the game. So like that's the thing, like, because I can't trust these kids if they're going to be, especially for Duke. How am I supposed to trust these kids who are only going to be there for 1 year? It's about the coaching staff because they know how to get the best out of these players and later in the tournament.
Yeah, and the chemistry is a lot based on. I agree. It's a lot more based on the staff than the individuals.
Why do you think I said that? Why do you think I said that with the mid majors? With the mid majors, if they want to compete, get a coaching staff in there that actually knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, and it also kind of crosses into the conversation. The name's escaping me right now, but that UConn coach that's been there forever on the women's.
Dan Hurley.
No,
on the women's side,
Gino Auriemma.
Yeah,
Auriemma. Like, here's the thing with Auriemma that I find fascinating, and why I'm so excited for the women's tournament this year.
Yeah,
South Carolina, their recruiting doesn't seem that good. They almost lost to Texas. They lost to Texas in the final of the SEC. And I'm sitting there going, UConn actually knows how to, Gino Auriemma actually knows how to recruit in the NIL era. And on the women's side, it's a little bit different because there's a lot more money involved, even with the WNBA CBA. The new one where the Supermax is about 1.4 million. These women can get upwards of 5 to 10 million in NIL. So a lot of these women are going to stay for 3 or 4 years, which is why I think the women's game is actually somewhat in a better place, even though it's still pretty top heavy than the men's. But I look at Gino Auriemma this year with that roster and how they are handling teams. They're handling really good programs all year long. And I'm sitting there with UConn going, yeah, Gino actually has figured out a way to recruit on the women's side in an era that's not really supposed to suit him. When South Carolina, who should be a little bit more in of this, is struggling with teams like Texas. And again, not to disparage Texas. They're also really good. But I look at UConn on the women's side this year, and I'm like, if they don't win this thing, it'd be a shocker.
There's no threat there.
There's no threat to them because I think this roster has been built from the ground up, and they know how to recruit. And they also know, because people love Gino, to get these women to stay for 4 years and really develop. And he's the only coach that I think knows how to do that. And so that's part of why I'm excited for the women's tournament, is I'm just curious who's going to give UConn a run for their money before we hit the Final Four. I'm just really curious if that's going to work.
Same. Just going to give a quick shout out in the comments. She chimes in every week. A good friend of mine, Christina Romano Palmerson, and I'm guessing her dad Nick is probably somewhere around. Christina, how you doing? We appreciate you tuning in every week.
Kenny was asking about play-in tournaments. We need to remove play-in tournaments. The fact that we're going to have more, we need to remove this thing. Play-in tournaments are boring. The fact that the first 4 exists is boring. Unless you're betting on it. It's boring.
And by the way, this is what I'm trying to prove to you. I mean, as a sidebar, this is what I'm trying to prove to you with the NBA. Play-in is stupid. I don't like it. Bring back 1 through 8.
I think on the West of the West side for the NBA, it's necessary because the West is just so nasty, minus all the injuries we've had this year. On the Eastern Conference, it's the same teams every year.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Everyone else.
But precedent-wise, you can't yeah, I get based on how things are right now. What is happening in the apartment next door? I guess I get the base on everything that's happening right now, but the structure that you're going to have in place is the structure that exists now, and is probably going to exist for a long time going forward. You can't just structure the whole league based on what fits it or doesn't fit it right now. You have to also be forward-thinking.
Well, okay, but the forward thinking for a play-in tournament is network revenue. There's nothing else. Prime paid a frick ton of money. Yeah, gamble responsibly. I agree, Kenny. This is extremely
Kenny
important.
says, gamble responsibly, everyone. Only bet what you can afford to lose, and that's it. And that's something also also is said by a longtime friend of ours with the network, Joey Clams. Joey Fredette, hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well.
But like the gamble responsibly thing, also, this is kind of a side topic. The gamble responsibly thing is on every gambling ad, when literally gambling ads are made for you to get addicted to gambling. So like the gambling, I understand why it needs to be there because of laws and stuff, but it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, but we don't need them. We should, and I understand Brandon's point about because the first couple of years of the play-in tournament, Brandon, I was like, this is so fun. This is cool. We give these teams a chance. And now 4 years later, it's like, it's always Chicago. It's always Miami. There are never new teams in there.
On either side to me, like I look at the play-in tournament the same way I look at expanding the field in college, where I'm like, those teams are the 10, 11 seeds are not going to win anything. They never, ever will. So, like, I understand they want more money. I understand you want more bet. I understand the greed side of it from the 80-year-old men that run this. But at the same time, it's not fun it's fun if your team is in it, yeah. But like realistically, if you win the play-in, oh, you know what your reward is? Here, go get smacked by a real playoff team.
Oh, and by the way, in the NBA, and this is gonna blow a gasket for both of you. Do you know one of the major actual reasons for the play-in tournament other than COVID? It was to curb tanking. Tanking's worse than it's ever been.
Exactly. So it didn't work.
It didn't work at all.
Adam Silver has. I can't think of somebody who has taken more actions to an end and gotten the opposite results as Adam Silver has as commissioner of the NBA.
And you know what's funny about that? I've thought about this recently with the tanking situation. We just talked about the play-in.
Yeah.
The tanking situation, and people are having the wrong idea with the expansion thing. They're like, now we can go into Seattle, Vegas NBA expansion. We knew that was going to happen for years. That's not the conversation. The conversation that people have had is why. Let me put it this way. It's why are we having 2 extra teams when there's a bunch of teams tanking? The reason a bunch of teams are tanking has nothing to do with the actual teams. If you look at the NBA top to bottom, even the top end of the two-way contract guys in the G League that move up and down, we have some of the best pure talent in the NBA we've ever had. Ever.
Yep.
The problem with tanking is we need a system, like I said, with the PWHL system, which we've talked about.
I like it more and more as time goes on.
I know, me too. I love it. We need a system that basically, and by the way, this also affects gambling too. Because what happens with the NBA in this time of year, and I'm dealing with this in fantasy basketball, and I think Kenny's right. Realistically, a 6 seed is probably the capper. But I when it comes to March Madness, but basically, I think the problem that I have with it is we need to just do something when it comes to, hey, we need better injury reporting. I should know 48 hours before the game who's playing in the game and who isn't. NBA teams always know this. We need 65 games. We 82 is too much. It really is. The amount of rest that the best example.
But then here's the thing: they're going to rest even more then.
No, they're not. Because you know why rest exists? You know why your boy Michael Porter Jr. is like barely playing this year? Because of back-to-backs. If you put a 65,
yeah, but the team's also finished too. There's no point.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. You need a system where, like, let's be honest. Brooklyn could have won 30 games this year with that roster.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but they didn't care to win 30 games. So again, it goes back to the thing. If you put let's say the NBA goes 65 games, and you say, okay, 65 games, no more back-to-backs, none. We are eliminating it completely. You will see less teams do the resting thing, especially if you make a system that incentivizes winning with the lottery and make the lottery a little bit more winning incentivized. Then you're not going to have this guy who's 30 in the G League starting at small forward for you at the end of March. It's like it pisses me off with the kind of talent we have in the NBA. Yeah, we have so much talent in the NBA. There's not enough roster spots, so we need 2 more expansion teams because the rosters are getting squeezed. Yet the players that are affected by the roster squeeze never play in March because they don't care. They're just going to play a random dude in the G League because they know that guy's too good. It's so stupid to me.
Did you see what T-Mac said in response to the whole 65 game proposal thing? Like, because Steve Kerr is a champion of it, but Steve Kerr played back in an era where guys played 75, 80 games, straight. And so T-Mac said, basically, it was on the pregame thing. So T-Mac, Carter, and Melo.
Yeah, the NBC pregame, yeah.
The 3 of them, and then T-Mac said this. He said this to start. He was like, if there's one thing I can say to Steve Kerr is, or not to Steve Kerr, but to these players is, he's like, he looked over at VC and he looked over at Melo and he was like, let's show them how we trained back in the day. We didn't miss games.
And I agree.
Yeah.
The thing. By the way, so I'm saying we shorten the season to 65 games. We need to remove the 65 game minimum for awards. The fact that Cade Cunningham has a collapsed lung and he won't be an All NBA player this year, with the kind of season that kid has had,
How many games has he played?
He's at 62. He's at like 60. He's not going to make the cap. The season's over. His season's over in the playoffs with the collapse lung.
But see, like you know what's dangerous about doing all that is like if let's say you lower the cap, then what if somebody?
Wait, you're misconstruing what I'm saying. Sorry. I'm saying we move. Here's my two NBA proposals, my two biggest proposals. It's a 65 game season with no cap. Your cap maybe is 40. That's my proposal.
Because I was gonna say if you don't have a cap on awards, I'm not gonna give an award to a guy who played 25, 30 games if they miss games, if they're unhealthy.
I agree.
Yeah.
But the season needs to be shortened. We've gotten to the point where we can't do this. We can't have, this guy on a back-to-back had a random illness, needs to rest. We can't do this anymore. Either the players suck it up and play, which is dumb because there's so much wear and tear on their bodies.
That's what they do in hockey, though.
Those guys are hockey. Tough. Those guys are tough. But the NBA players I'm sorry, they're not as tough as hockey players.
Yeah, they're not.
You play 65 games. The other thing is, and Scoop, I want to ask you this question because I know Brandon's thoughts on this. Do you like the in-season tournament in the NBA? Do you care about it at all?
So how long has it existed again? It goes back to the COVID year, right?
No, it's like 2 years old now. It's
I thought it was longer than that.
No, COVID era is just the play-in tournament. And thank you, Patrick. But do you like it? Do you like the NBA in-season tournament? Does it make you care more about the NBA in December?
I think by asking that question, I just proved how much I care about it. I have not watched one game of that since it became a thing, and I don't really see what it adds. I mean, and can I take this one for a second?
No, please go. Please go.
I get the general point of it, but in the discussions about the mid-season tournament or the All-Star game or the dunk whatever
dunk contest, skills challenge,
partridge in a pear tree, or if you want to take it into another league, the NFL with the Pro Bowl, which is an absolute bleep hole because
it's not fun. It's fun for a day, but it's not interesting.
Yeah.
It used to be, we had the conversation back on FAH about, maybe I think Brandon was the one who broached this. Maybe, don't have the nominations, just don't play the game. But the nominations are increasingly not meaning much of anything because it's all based on popularity, not based on if I, God willing, ever get a vote for the Hall of Fame, All-Star appearances isn't going to matter worth a damn to me based on the generation in which we grew up. So anyway, to go back to how that's fitting into my original point, or you can go to baseball where the All-Star game and home run derby, people still follow the home run derby, but the All-Star game, the biggest thing it really had was going back until a few years ago, the winning league would get home field advantage in that following World Series. But ever since they eliminated that, that's been, frankly, particularly meaningless to begin as well. But also on top of that, people have honestly been objecting to their players participating in it for the added risk of injury and one thing or another, not using that time to actually rest their body. But my point in kind of jumping all over here and to tie it all back is, when did what I shouldn't say why, because I'm saying this hypothetically because I know it's chasing the green, but why are these commissioners and these leagues so invested in improving everything about the league but the sport in which they play?
TV money, TV contracts.
I know, that's why I said it's a rhetorical question, but
Yep.
but it's just that's what irritates the hell out of me, and it's a perfect microcosm for that is this play-in tournament. Or I'm sorry, I keep saying play-in. I meant in season tournament.
In-season tournament.
Yeah. I mean, even as a Pelicans fan who's had very little to be interested in since I became a Pelicans fan 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, whatever it was. Ever since then, that might the opportunity to have guys or have whatever be in the play-in tournament might be one of the most interesting things to happen. And it still didn't make me more interested. It wouldn't make me more interested if the Pelicans or anybody from the Pelicans were playing in that tournament. I just I want the game to improve. I want the sport at the pro level to improve. I want the quality of basketball to improve, and I want the experience of the season to the end of the game being the best that it can be and the sport being the best that it can be to improve. I don't give a rat's tail about whether or not, these exhibition experiences are this, that, and the other, or whether or not, my guy Trey Murphy can do a higher leg kick than Kavari or I'm blanking on the guy's name right now. Kaderi Richmond. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't care. I care about one thing. And this is the thing. This goes back to what Brandon and I always say. We're sports fans, and we love the sport. We love our own teams or certain players. Maybe the players are also on other teams, but I care about one thing: two things: watching the sport and watching my team win. Yeah. I care about those two things. If it happen, and I think most fans, I think, would agree with that. I do know that there are some people who go for the cultural experience and one thing or another, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but when you're running a league and when you're running a professional association, that should be the priority in my vantage point.
Well,
if they have data that's saying that the quote unquote true, which again you can't really break this down in any real way, but if they have data that says that the casual fans are the ones who don't typically show up, that those guys that they are helping bring in a substantial and these sort of if they're significantly helping, then fine. Then I'll be proven wrong to an extent. But the fact of the matter is that the league exists for these reasons, okay? And I think a lot of people would agree. Whether you're a Celtic fan, whether you're a Thunder fan, whether you're a Net fan, whether you're a Pelicans fan, I don't know why anyone would willingly choose to do that to themselves in 2026, but. No matter whatever team of which you're a fan, I think most people would agree. If you are actually a fan of a team, they care most about watching that team either win or get to a point where they can win. And I think that most people who are fans of the game would make that the priority.
Well, I love that you said this.
And also, screw Ticketmaster. All right, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Screw the ticketing thing. The thing, I just wanted to jump on this because I love this point. I don't know if you guys feel this, because I feel this a lot with Formula One, as I do with the NBA, and I do with a lot of other leagues.
I'm just now getting into Formula One, so I'm looking forward to this.
Oh my God, dude! You need to watch Drive to Survive, by the way, on Netflix. It's fantastic.
Okay. I have that.
It's fantastic. I'm on season 1. It's fantastic. I feel like the NBA, and again, I think Formula One is kind of the kings of this, especially if you watch a lot of Formula One. I think the NBA is second when it comes to this. I have had this question about sports the last couple of years, and I haven't had a chance to really talk about it.
Okay.
My question is, am I just watching opera singers? Am I just watching Phantom of the Opera every day instead of a sport? Because Because why I'm saying this is like the NBA to me, it's like Pringles what's the Pringles update, Scoop, before I go on this rant?
Somebody that was not myself made a request to have Pringles moved elsewhere during the time of the show. She is safe. She is well, but she was asked to not be featured on the screen today. So I wanted to honor that person's request.
By the way, it's really impressive that she's kept calm during this time. Is she keeping calm?
You can't hear the scratching on the door.
Oh, dang it. That's not fun. Anyway, so what I'm saying when it comes to because I feel like with the NBA, I don't even like, again, I only care about like 11 of the teams, and the rest of it, it's like,
you said that before.
Did this guy get injured? Did this guy score this many points? Is this guy getting traded? It's just like Phantom of the Opera. It's just politics. I'm not actually watching basketball.
I also want to add on to that, because we talk a lot about gambling on here, and as much as I love it, and I don't mean gambling, I mean what I'm about to say. As much as I love it, I think this is also a contributing factor. Fantasy sports, I think, is another contributing factor to this.
Oh, I know, and I agree. As someone who plays fantasy, yeah.
And I know that Rob's a big fan of them, but it's one reason why I cannot get into cats leagues. It's because it just completely makes me focus on things that I don't care about with respect to actually winning, because it makes you focus on like again, if somebody goes out there and has 4 blocks for the Pelicans, okay, great. I only care about those 4 blocks if we won, 120 to 105. I don't care about those blocks if we lost by 60 to the freaking the Hornets.
I'm sorry, Scoop. I'm such a weird person when it comes to sports, because as much as I love like my Mariners and my Canucks and the Seahawks and stuff, I feel like, I don't know why I'm like this. I think it's because we do this job.
Yeah.
That I have become a person where I just want to watch everything I can, except like really bad teams. Like I want to watch the Rockets and the Lakers on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I'm not even close to any of those areas. And that's the thing that I feel like I'm one of those people that can like just say, okay, like I have my fantasy side, but I can still talk about the NBA as like the NBA, and I'm working on that for the NHL and stuff. But I try to actually watch NBA, and then the next morning I get, Giannis might get traded. The Giannis trade song has been going on for 5 years. It's a damn soap opera. It's just
I used to be a big Giannis fan, and I don't dislike him now, but I am so over the damn Days of Our Lives remake.
That's my point. That's my point. My question is, the older that I get, excuse me, I'm having March Madness makes me want to drink Coca-Cola because they literally.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I crushed a Dunkin' and I'm halfway through an Alani Nu just since the show started.
But basically, I question to myself often if I'm actually just becoming somebody who should just, instead of watching sports, go to Phantom of the Opera on a Saturday night. It's the same thing. Like I feel like I'm watching the same thing.
Well, like the Giannis thing, it's like, I mean, it's the age old expression, shit or get off the pot. So it's like it's either you're gonna do that, you're gonna move somehow, whether that's getting traded, whatever it is, released somehow for agency, whatever it might be. It's like either get traded or find a way to stay there permanently. One or the other.
Why does it take so long for these teams to make these decisions? It's like, stop yin and yang these things. Like,
and they both done it.
They both do it. They both, and that's the NBA. The NBA trade deadline is better than the actual games for half of the year.
Well, see, here's the thing. I would agree, but I also disagree because it's not the freaking deadline. The deadline really sucks. It's the weeks leading up to the deadline, and it's how tuned in everybody is for the this is being worked on. This is being worked on. Usually, it's like 2/10, or that'd be 1/5, I guess. It's usually like one. It's usually like 1/5 of what's out there actually gets done. Remember those reports that popped out somewhere out of nowhere this past week this past year that LeBron might get traded? Where the hell did that come from? Who actually believed that?
Because and this is the soap opera thing, because LeBron's agent wanted it out there to get the Lakers to make moves. It's all a soap opera. And by the way,
that's the whole thing is as Colin says, something only gets out if somebody wants it out.
Yeah,
well, that's the one problem that I even had, with why we've been sitting here even, a year and a half, 2 years later with the AJ Brown stuff, and we had the whole,
it's just a media saga. Yeah,
and it's not just that, but it's like I don't like the reporting done.
I already wanted him traded, but every time I see Diana Rossini say something about it, I want him traded even more.
And by the way, sorry, Brandon. I want to say this because this will only make you a little bit more. You'll make you go a bit more. Why every day on my feed it's just here's this fake Eagles post. AJ Brown is a damn Raider. It's like he's not a damn Raider.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you going to believe that? I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not seeing this. Where the hell are you looking?
Like the worst.
Dude,
the worst
wait. Really quick. Scoop. I get notifications on this on our Football After Hours Twitter.
So do I.
It just pops up. It just pops up. People making stupid, saying, "Oh, here's him mocked as a Raider," and people actually believe it because they live in this supper world that they don't actually watch the league. They don't care.
Yeah.
Well, and the other one, and I would argue in terms of social media, I argue this is even worse. The amount of times, and I love and respect, the amount of people who are either at least trying to get into sports or at least trying to follow it when they can or whatever. But for people who don't actively stay involved with sports, the way that they are so easily baited by these Facebook posts that say, or that they see a post that's, asking about a mock trade, and for some reason they think it's actually happening. And I'm just like, bro, I promise you, we are not trading Anthony Volpe and Spencer Jones from Paul Skeens. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if that would work, I would figure out how to drive, and I would drive them there myself.
But Brandon, I interrupted you. You and I have had back and forth on this for years. So go, because I always love your thought process on this.
Because see how it's bleeding over into all these different sports, about all these different trade rumors and guys getting cut, whatever it is, and it's like.
Because it's rooted in media. It's not even rooted in sports. That's why it's rooted in media.
That's what I hate though. It's like you had people in the past, one or two, journalists, reporters, whatever, trying to be the first one there, and then they're wrong, But it's like at the same
John
time,
Heyman.
Yeah. but it's like you also have to realize
Arson judge my ass.
Like you also have to realize too. It's like everybody, when it comes to some sort of sports news, has a part to play, and everybody shares a little bit of the blame. And so it's on the teams and the players and their agents, because they're all spreading false narratives
and the source guys who run all over the place.
And then you get
the source guys are usually in one of those three categories.
Exactly, that's true.
And then you get the stringers, you get the journalists. And
what the hell's a stringer?
The middleman. The
middleman. Yeah.
In journalism, a stringer is basically someone who gets information and passes it along from one side to the other.
Yeah.
So they're also technically journalists, but it's a fine line.
Like an intermediary type of.
It's very much intermediary.
But there's also so they all share a part to blame. Then the regular people, the fans on social media, also have some blame, because media literacy is so damn poor in this country. It's like, how can you not spot, like we're saying,
the world?
How can you not spot a fake post from a mile away? Like, please, with Ravens fans, why in God's name would you ever believe the Eagles would take Rashad Bateman in a 7th rounder for AJ Brown? Please be realistic.
And by the way, that's part of it too. Is even as someone who we do this and we work hard on it and we try to be as accredited as possible, we even make mistakes with it because there's all this crap on our feed all the damn time.
Well, it's not. It's also not. It's not only that, but it's also. I mean, X in particular. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm calling it X, but X in particular. Now you can. What was the way that people? What did Ken Rosenthal and Jeff Passan and back in his heyday Buster Olney and Jerry Krasnick going back to some of the older days. What did these people always say? Look for the blue check mark. Look for the blue check mark. My cat can now get a blue check mark if she can find a way to find
by the way, now there's a gold check mark only for like teams and specific people. So now you got to look for the gold one.
Oh my god,
gold.
I'm finding out in real time that exists.
Go to the Eagles page on X.
Yeah,
there's a gold check mark on it.
It's absolutely insane. Like it's just absolutely insane how like everybody wants like this instant gratification when it comes to their news sources, not just sports, but news sources in general. And I'm like, that's one of the first things you learn in any journalism class is how quickly news travels and word spreads and all that stuff. But
rather be second and right than first and wrong.
But exactly that's the biggest problem there's a big problem in this country with trying to break any kind of news, but for our sake, in this case, sports. And it's like, and then like hell, we even caught Adam Schefter. Though it was like a year and a half ago. I forget what move it was. They caught him lacking on a move. I forget what it was.
Because here's the thing. They vetted one source. They vetted the second and third one in a minute. And someone who's the second or third source could also just frick with them.
But it's also like too, it's like, especially when you are a journalist or you've worked at these high levels like an ESPN, like I don't get how someone like Diana Rossini is still employed by The Athletic when she has the worst sources on God. She doesn't have any.
Okay.
They also well, and here's the thing. And I love The Athletic. They are probably my number one most used, if you want to say source or whatever you want to say, probably my number one go-to in terms of general sports news. If you go,
they're really good for general stuff.
Yeah,
they're really good for general stuff.
I didn't even know who they were until Ken Rosenthal went there, and then once I started following them more, I'm like, okay, no.
When Ken Rosenthal went there, they were only like a year in existence, and
But I'm saying I didn't even know who they were until he went there. But and that's what I'm saying is like in your head, kind of whatever sport you're a fan of. There we go. We kind of build these things in our heads, right? Like NBA for a while was Adrian Wojnarowski, and now it's Shams Charania in a lot of cases.
Shams, it's just Shams. It's just Shams. Scoop. It's just Shams. Everyone else, it's just Shams.
Well, at the national level, I think there's beat reporters that I really like.
But the beat reporters, but national, it's just Shams.
Yeah, nationally. In the NFL, used to be Adam Schefter. Now most people are looking at guys like an Ian Rappaport. And I occasionally get baited by Jeremy Fowler or Don Graziano, and I've gotten unfortunately bitten by that.
Those guys are still on TV, mind you. Like, how the hell do those guys have a platform when all they do is lie all day?
My wait, can I get this out? I'm sorry, I want to get this out. This is like my most important thing.
All right.
I want to know who these sources are. I want to know who these people are. It's just like, but because here's the thing, and they're probably from the teams and whatever, and like PR team people or whatever, or some people connected. My biggest problem with sourcing in the current age, and this is not only in sports, but just in anything, I want to know who these middlemen are. I want to know who's giving them this information, because like sources say, it's like, and I get it. We live by it. You have to live by sources say something, but who actually are they? Who is this collection of people? Who are they?
Can I provide for you my hypothesis?
Yes.
Of course, that sentence I can get out just fine. But so here's my thought. Because like we said a few minutes ago, a lot of it's a big cat and mouse game. People things get out when somebody wants them out, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
my guess is that there are some more experienced people like an Ian Rappaport or an Adam Schefter, or somebody who is maybe not one of the biggest ones, but I personally love in Major League Baseball, Joel Sherman of the New York Post. Especially for the Yankees. It's so weird. Like he'll suggest something in a New York Post article in like the footnote, and then 2 weeks later it's happened. That's what happened with the Randall Grichuk deal. Like he had suggested it like 3 weeks before it happened. Anyway,
back in the day for me, it was Bob Clappish. So
I have 3 Bob Clappish books. I love that guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point I was trying to make. My guess is that what you have is that you've got some of these well-known people who have like the following because they work for an ESPN or they work for a Fox Sports, or they work for one
NBC,
of these big companies, right? So they have that following because of that. And my guess is that they probably at least in some cases through no like malice of their own. My guess is that they just are not employing the, is this something that would be legitimate, or are they telling me this for a specific reason type of thing? Like my guess is that they are so quick to put it out that they're not always wondering what the reason behind it is. I think that there's probably some elements of this where it's being told to them for a reason, and they're not really back channeling it for that extra 30 seconds to think, okay, well, is there a reason why this team may want to leak an interest in this player? Oh yeah, of course, because they're trying to get this guy, and they want to drum up interest in the fact that this guy's going to be cut in 2 days, and they want to try and get a 6th round pick for him before they lose him for nothing, and somebody else can claim him on waivers.
You're making me go crazy, Scoop. Hold on.
What'd I do?
No. This is a positive thing. This is positive, not negative. Positive, Scoop. Positive.
Okay.
They know. Everyone who's involved in these sources know what they're doing, because here's the thing: Ian Rappaport needs to leak this thing out because he needs a relationship with the agent when the guy has a new contract. They all know what they're doing. I know what they're doing, but it's the culture of it. It's what it is. I just want to know these people. And by the way, I know you guys don't follow the NBA as closely as I do. Do you guys know what the biggest day in the NBA calendar is during the regular season? The biggest. Not for the playoffs. Yeah, for the regular season.
Because I thought you were talking about the offseason. I was going to say the day the moratorium ends, but
I'm saying in the regular season, do you know what the biggest day on our calendar is?
I'm going to guess the day before the trade deadline.
No, the actual trade deadline day is the biggest day on our calendar.
Oh damn! I thought you were trying to trick us.
No, because here's the thing.
That's what I thought it was too.
Because here's the thing, guys. Anyone who watches the NBA, I mean, I try to watch a good bit of the NBA, but again, the bottom side is terrible.
This is one of my favorite comments ever. Yeah. For those who don't know, when I was on the original show, basically Kenny used to always have to intervene because Kurt and I were constantly interrupting each other, and nobody else could get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, I feel like this is what Brandon does with us now, because I apologize. Anyway, so here's the thing: the NBA, we literally don't care about the basketball. We literally don't care about the basketball. We just care about, is this guy gonna move? It's like, it's a soap opera. We don't care about the basketball.
I'll be fully honest with you. While I was getting in more into following sports more closely, and I don't mean baseball, I mean like football, basketball, hockey even. That is a big part of what kept me more connected.
It does keep you more connected.
Because think about it this way, right? There are what? So there's 365 days, so there's like, we'll say 9,000 hours in a year. I'm probably way off, but we'll just throw that number out there.
I'm actually going to double check this. I'm curious. I'm not disparaging you. I just want to see what it is.
But I only make that point because let's say it's 9,000, 82 games, roughly 3 hours a game, 246 hours. So you're watching your team play that's got to be like 1/20th of the season. Anyway, I'm throwing a bunch of random numbers out and I'm doing the math horribly. But
also, if you're a diehard NBA fan, you're watching the Jazz play on a random Thursday. You're watching everything, or at least you're keeping track of everything. You know what I mean?
I'll be totally honest with you. unless in baseball, unless I'm getting like a no hitter alert through 7 or something like that, it's very rare that I'm watching a game in which 2 teams are playing where I have no rooting interest.
Well,
Unless
I'm not that kind of person.
unless
I'm so different.
let-
I'm
know
not that kind
that.
of person.
let-
I'm not
let-
the kind of
let-
person.
Well, let me add this in. All right, unless it's like a player, like there's a player that I love who's like typically it's if I'm doing so, it's typically because there's a pitcher I want to see, like a Shohei Ohtani or a Mad Max or somebody like that. It's typically because there's a specific starting pitcher I want to see, or there's a debut for a player, or there's a player retiring. It's usually like because there's a monumental moment. Like you're not going to see me have watch the Pirates number 3 starter going up against the Angels number 5 starter because neither one of those guys should be on Major League Baseball teams.
And by the way, I'm not saying I watch the bottom half of these leagues. I just keep track of it. But Brandon,
I keep track of it too. I'm just saying you're not going to get me sitting there for 3.5 hours watching the damn thing.
But I don't know if you can see this, but 8,760. So good math, Scoop.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I said 9,000. All right, I was close. Well,
But what are your thoughts, Scoop? Though
my
Or
point,
actually,
but
Brandon.
just to
finish
close
up.
that out, my point in saying that was just because the amount of times you're actually watching the sport per year is such a small relatively percentage that all that other stuff helps keep you engaged. At least for me, it does. Maybe other people think it's stupid, but at least for
I think
me,
it's
it helps.
stupid. I think it's really stupid.
Okay,
I think it's stupid. I have to, but it's stupid.
And trust me, it does feel stupid sometimes. But like just the engagement regularly with what other teams are doing, who's a buyer, who's a seller, these types of things. And I don't mean just the realblog.com 101s that say, oh, this team should try and trade these 3 bums for this elite player. I don't mean that. I'm talking about like the engaging with the sports content of what teams are actively trying to do off the court or off the field or off the ice or off the pitch or whatever the hell you want to say. Even though Barcelona absolutely folded us in half this past week, but we ain't going to talk about that.
But that's the thing, Brandon. I'll let you go here because my whole thing is like, no, I think part of it is one, these sports are harder to watch because of the streaming market. Because look at what's happening in all these sports. So you have to follow it through highlights and this and that. And again, we live in a culture, and Brandon and I know this very well when we're talking about movies and the Oscars last week. The thing is, we're in an era where people don't want to sit down and watch a game for 3 hours. But we're old school. We like sitting down and watching games because that's what we grew up doing.
I can't believe that's even considered old school now at this point, to be honest.
It is. Watching the Eagles play for 3 hours is uncommon. It's ridiculous.
Like it doesn't cross my like it's become second nature to me. Obviously, because that's how we all grew up. That it's like all my friends and I, like growing up when we were 4 or 5 years old when we were watching sports for the first time. We sat down with our families to watch games for 3 hours. Like well,
that's the thing. Also, is like at that age, it was something we did as a family. Like it was just part of like our daily life.
That's
part of our lives. Yeah.
And the thing is that's how sports memories are created forever. Like to me, it's like
exactly.
I always said it. Like especially growing up when it's like like my uncle fell out of love with sports as he got older, but he still watches here and there. But he fell out of interest with it, and then. My mom loves football. I got her into football, even though she was in and out of it growing up as a little girl.
Yeah, that's kind of how my mom was. Yeah,
but she kept up with it enough, and then when she saw how much I loved it, she got back into it so that's what got her back into it. And then like my grandmother doesn't care, but like my dad almost never missed a Mets game, and he damn sure never missed a Giants game, and. My dad and I...
San Francisco or New York?
Why would it ever be San Francisco?
Well, I didn't know
he
which
lives
Giants...
in the metro area.
Hey, I know people from Kansas City who were watching Anaheim Angels. I'm just saying.
Fair play.
But that's insanity. But it's like it was like I grew up like my dad and I had the Yankees, Mets, and Eagles, Giants rivalry. That's what it was between me and him. Like we had fun with that.
Yeah.
My grandfather, like
Yeah.
watching both Super Bowl wins. Yeah, we had a Super Bowl party for that. But my grandfather's been watching Eagles football since the late '80s, early '90s. He kind of got onto it late, but he's been watching Yankees baseball since the mid '70s, since Thurman Munson. And so, like when the Yankees won in '09, I was sitting next to him on the couch watching the full Game 6, watching all of it. And then when I for these 2 Super Bowls, by the end of the night, everybody else is getting tired. Me and him are sitting there watching it. Like I can't imagine, like, because he was the one that got me into it, because he'd be the one watching sports, and I would sit next to him on the couch and watch it growing up. And
Right.
like, and even 20 something years later, he's still telling me to shut the hell up because I'm yelling too damn loud at the TV.
Yep.
But at the same time, but it's like, me and him will, when it came to this past Eagles playoff loss against the Niners, we're watching. I forget, one of our guys scored a damn touchdown. I forget, it might have actually been Saquon, and he's yelling.
The Dotson touchdown. You called me after the Dotson touchdown. You guys were yelling.
Or it might have been Jahan Dotson, and so it was something like that. But I forget. But it was like, after those moments, like those are the moments you remember, like being around your family. Like I remember watching those games for 3 hours on the couch, and hell, I even had 2 of my friends. Adam was here. And my other friend Pat, they were both here watching.
Or flip that around, but yeah,
they were watching the game, with us, and it's like we all grew up that same way, watching games like that, and we'll always have those memories of sitting down. Like if we get up, it's to either to use the bathroom or maybe go to the kitchen and wash our hands to get something to eat.
Yep.
Whatever. That's it.
It was the same thing. Like
but it's like what it is though. It's like this is going to sound so old manish, but we are adults now. Like we are in our mid 20s. Yeah. It's going to sound like old man, get off my lawn-ish. But I look at
we're due for one of those with you every week. So
I know, but it's like
I'm at this point now with this topic.
But it's like I hate the fact that I see younger generations and they can't sit still and watch a game for even more than 5 minutes.
And by the way,
I agree with you, and I have the worst attention span you'll ever meet. I agree with you.
Sorry, Scoop. Sorry, guys, my bad. The ratings for all these sports are still really good, but guess what? They're having the TV on and they're doing other things.
Exactly.
You're not actually. And by the way,
I'm guilty of that. That's one thing on my bucket list for this season.
We need to do a better job of this, man.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is my one thing not on my bucket list, but like one thing I'm gonna make a point of this season is actually, as they say, locking in while I'm.
You gotta lock in, man. You gotta lock in, dude.
Like,
it's more fun. It's more fun, dude.
Is with this newer generation of kids coming up and trying to get into sports and whatnot.
Yeah,
a lot of them, when you ask them who their favorite sports team is, they can't tell you anymore because all they watch is highlights. They don't have
they just care about players.
That is one of the most depressing things I've ever heard.
And by the way, sorry, finish, Brandon. My bad.
Like when I see them like talk about like the last Little League World Series kids, like who your favorite player is, and it's like it's some half the kids will say some guy from their local team, whatever it is. I'm like, okay, I can tell that kid watches the sport and cares. And then you'll have the other half, like it would be like a Little League World Series team from Virginia, and then the parents grew up 5 minutes away from the ballpark in Virginia, whatever. But yet the kid's favorite player is Shohei Ohtani. That kid does not watch the sport. I can tell you that right now because they're watching highlights.
They're watching nuts, 100%.
Yeah, well, and that's why you guys know, because I've done at least 3 rants about this, including when it first happened. But that's why that's why one of myriad reasons why it pissed me off so much when literally the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Sandler, oh my God, Adam Silver,
he feels like an Adam Sandler type, doesn't he? That's the thing. He feels like an Adam Sandler type. I've said this for years. That's
almost as bad as me calling Steve Wilkes Booth.
Well, what's funny? Adam Sandler can hoop though.
Adams, that's the thing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But
he can hoop.
anyway, but of him calling this or saying, we're a highlight league, they should just watch the highlights or whatever the case may be. And that's the problem, is because that's what they're promoting. They're promoting the things that get the 5-second clicks, that can fit on an Instagram reel, that can fit on a YouTube short, that can
especially
fit,
the NBA, especially the NBA.
Yeah,
especially the NBA.
And it's like you know what? I want show me what's happening when there's and in fact, growing up, including I was a basketball manager for either 2 or 3 seasons, and I had people even there who followed the NBA not that much, which was kind of like me at the time, and basically said, and this is accurate, basically said all you have to watch of the NBA is the last 4 minutes of regulation, which is basically
the last 4 minutes of regulation takes an hour, which is another thing.
Well, I can't.
Basketball. Well, that's because you want to talk about pace of play. How about not having 82 timeouts at the end of the game? But
and fouling, and we're not going to get into this today. But yeah,
no, it's one thing at a time. But it's just which is a great album, by the way. One thing at a time. You also check it out. But just the. Going back to, and again, I'm going to sound hypocritical to anybody who really knows me watching this, because I have no attention span whatsoever, and I'm really working on that, which is one reason why I'm making it a point this year to really not do 50 different things while I'm watching, because that's how I used to be. Like when I very first started watching baseball, that's how I used to be. It wasn't anything but watching the game. And, as my life got busier as I got older, I just kind of started doing things simultaneously and one thing or another. And now, you guys know me. I'm always, walking and chewing bubble gum, and usually I'm walking trying to figure out what my cat just did. But with all that being said, and in fact, and I probably have referenced this before, but in case I haven't, I did. So in high school, we had to do these senior capstone projects. I don't know if those were ubiquitous, but we had to do these senior capstone projects.
College for me in high school.
I had to do one in college too, but I had to do one in high school.
I had to do a mini one in high school, but it wasn't that intensive. It was really stupid.
Okay. Anyway, my point of this, and I don't really even remember what the full topic was. I just know that I was doing something related to our local baseball team, which was the Rochester Red Wings, which were then the farm team for the Minnesota Twins, now of the Washington Nationals. And what I found out doing the research that I was doing for whatever the nitty-gritty of it was, I found out that the average fan of a baseball game, attending a baseball game, was like the age of 58 or something.
Yeah, it's bad.
And that was when I really became more cognizant of the fact that we really do need to get younger people involved in this. And
that's why you guys have been yelling at me to watch baseball. Because I'm the demographic that you guys want of someone.
I'm Italian. I yell in order to talk. But
what I'm saying is, Scoop, is for baseball. We talked about this last time. Yeah. The fact that I'm a guy who can sit down and watch, I'll put music on, but I'm still gonna focus on the baseball.
That's one thing I don't understand is how you can listen to music and watch sports. That's one thing I cannot do.
Baseball's the only one, and racing. Baseball's the only one. I can do it for football and other stuff too, but the thing is, because baseball is very just regimented, I just understand it. It's where I can listen to music. The thing and the commentary is not that great. The thing with baseball is the reason why
I love our TV team. I love our TV team on Yes.
I love Yankees games. I love Yankees games. I love the commentary. But what I'm saying is with baseball, it's and this is going to sound really weird, but let's stick with me. Baseball needs more people like me. And this sounds kind of weird. Baseball
it doesn't.
Baseball needs NFL people like myself who actually will sit down and watch 9 innings of baseball.
And I think that's what I mean. I think that's part of why they're trying to structure the game at the pro level a little bit more like the NFL. You're having the challenges now. You're having the ABS now, which Brandon knows this. The only thing I don't like about the ABS is we're not going to see Aaron Boone get the ejection record. That is what's going to disappoint me because I love watching that man get ejected. I thought Girardi ejections were best. He's got nothing on Aaron Boone in that category.
Aaron Boone has some great ejections. But I push and pull. So I do think, and while in the very beginning, and this is one area where I'll admit that I was proven wrong.
I thought that the pace of play changes were going to, for as many fans as they brought in, I thought they were going to alienate fans who, loved the game and thought it was changing too much or whatever. I thought I was going to be less interested in the way the game was being played because of the pace of play stuff. And I'm grateful that that hasn't been the case. And I didn't realize until that I think that Manfred has gotten a lot of that right in some cases, because I didn't realize how much dead air time there really was, like between pitches and things of that nature. I didn't realize you could go and basically medium rare cook a steak in the amount of time it took some of these guys to get through their windup.
Yeah.
That's
which, factual, by the way. I've seen people do that. I've seen people cook a medium rare steak while waiting for the pitcher to come out.
Remember, there's that clip of a whole half inning going by in between the time a pitcher threw one pitch and his second pitch. There's that side by side.
Yeah, like it's bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Like, I remember before the pitch clock era, like, going to Yankee Stadium, and of course I still love watching the game pitch clock or no pitch clock. But I remember my grandfather, I remember sitting there in the summer a lot and before pitch clock, and we're sitting there like with the, you're still baking in the sun for 3 hours regardless, but the game goes, like, you're focused on the game going, because with the pitch clock, the game goes faster. So you're focusing on the game. Whereas I remember sitting there back in 2009 in the upper deck, and I remember it was like August 1st. It was searing hot that day. It was like 100 degrees outside, and we're getting beaten by the sun. And literally, like, in the amount of time, I forget who pitched that day, but the amount of time it took that pitcher to get one out, we were sitting there on our necks returning red. We were like, "Oh my God, when's it over? When's it over?"
Yeah. I love the pitch clock now. It makes watching it at the ballpark way more fun than it ever used to be. I'm having such a good time at the ballpark now.
And that's the thing is, like, I didn't realize how much, like, I thought what it was going to do. I thought it was going to show us less action, but what it really does is concentrates the action to a more consistent period of time, which
it becomes
which I'm appreciating more than I thought I would.
I'll be honest though. Like, can I tell a young Robert story? Young little pup Robert, as Scoop would say.
I have never called you little pup, but go ahead.
But what I mean is, like, you have the little wee Scoop thing.
Go ahead.
But no, my whole thing is, like, for me with sports, and I've always had this, right? And I was thinking about this today of, like, why I love today specifically, why the first Thursday of March Madness today is, like, the best day, one of the best days of the year for me. And the reason why is I remember being a kid and basically being introduced to brackets and, like, picking teams. I remember being a kid and being like, hey, I only had CBS as a kid, right? I never had TNT, TBS, whatever. And I would just be like, okay, what's the CBS game? Are they good? And if the game was good, I tell my dad, hey, can we wait and do homework for a little bit? I want to watch this game. It was like the only time where I would actually watch, because I was so focused on school during the week. He's like, yeah, you could, for these 2 days, for these 2 really long days, you can sit on the TV and watch. I remember being at school, guys, elementary school, middle school, high school, and it would literally, I would turn school into like a basketball oasis for 2 days. Because
I gotta write that phrase down. Basketball oasis. I love that.
It literally, dude, because I would have, dude, no matter if I had tests that day, that I had, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
We would just, all my friends, even the ones who, like, all my guy friends, even the ones who never even cared about basketball ever. Yeah. They were like, yeah, this is awesome. We're watching basketball in the middle of class. Yep. We don't care about anything else, because it just felt like a day where we can just be ourselves and be happy and be kids. And so, like, when I get up, even now where it's like, oh, in the middle of the day, I just take a nap because I'm getting older and I don't have the energy to go through a whole day of basketball. I it's the youthful exuberance of this day that I grew up with. Right now, I'm watching CBS on one screen, TNT, TBS. I'm watching all 4 games and doing this.
That would
You
give
know
me
what
a
I mean? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and it's like that for me, like, and it's fun for me. Like I can focus on these games. It's fun. And by the way, March Madness is one of the reasons why I watch sports the way I watch it. My dad is always like, why are you able to watch like NFL Red Zone or watch 4 college basketball games or 4 college football games on one screen? It's like, because I grew up having to do it watching March Madness. And by the way, that was the thing. When I was thinking about multitasking like these kids do, or this inability to multitask, I grew up having to multitask because I grew up on a Thursday in high school having to take a quiz in my science class and take a quiz and hop on my computer and go, okay, what just happened? Okay, what game do I need to put on? So like that was my multitasking.
Oh, I do it. I
thing.
do it. I just ain't good at it.
Yeah, and by the way, Scoop, if you want to learn to get good at it, this is your time, man. Because this is how I got good at it. Was like this, just bouncing around, jumping, and like it's the thing. You become a kid again. Like for this weekend in particular, no matter how much basketball I watch, no matter if I'm watching, the full day or an hour or two here, no matter how many I'm watching, I feel like a kid again doing this. Yeah. And I miss the fact that kids in this era, and there are kids who still do this. I know that there's kids all across our country who right now are in school or were in school because it's past time, but who were in school today and they watched Duke and Siena in their class. Yeah. Like that's the kind of thing that, and there's kids who do that, but there's also kids who are like, I just watch the highlights later. And I just, where's the youthful enjoyment? Where's the youthful enjoyment of this?
That's just it. Like the way you were describing it, like Ira have, which, I know she watches sometimes. So if she's watching, shout out to my longtime French teacher, Madame Colosimo. What she would do for the whole high school is she would keep her, during her free periods, she would keep the door open. Any game that was on, she was a big Indiana Hoosiers fan. She's still upset at me for choosing Seton Hall over Indiana back in 2018 when they were 2 of my final schools.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, like she was a big Hoosiers fan, so obviously in Indiana, wherever on, that was always the game that was on. But she would show the games on, like, and the amount of people that place or that room, which was not a big classroom, that room would be packed to the walls, standing room only, by people in there just to watch college basketball during March Madness, because of, and it would be in some cases 2 schools you'd never heard of. Like it didn't always have to be the Blue Bloods, the Dukes, or at that time the Butler or whatever. It was it was so much fun, and like you said, like it kind of was like almost, for some of us, myself included, it kind of was almost like a mid-year Christmas.
Yeah, it was a mid-year break. And by the way, even teachers who didn't care about it. I remember having to be in a science class and asking the teacher, I asked my English teacher, I was like, should I ask like my science teacher who they were really close. I was like, and I was really close with them because I would always, it was chemistry. I asked her, I was like, should I just ask him if I could watch March Madness during class? And she's like, he'll say no, right? You can, but you can ask him. And I asked him, and it was like a huge laugh. Because, like, they know I don't need to actually watch it during class. They know I'm going to keep track of it anyway. It was fun for them, too, because it just showed, like, a youthful thing. It just brought them back to being kids. Go ahead, Brandon. Yeah. You see what I mean, Brandon. That's the thing. It was just fun.
Like, my favorite teachers...
I'll be right back.
Yeah. My favorite teachers in school growing up were the ones that always... had some sort of, like, they mixed in some sort of sports into their lessons, or even on their tests or quizzes they had like a funny answer on it that would make me laugh. I'll never forget, there was one, I'll never forget it, back in my 8th grade history class. My teacher, shout out Mr. Barber, I know he's not watching, but he's one of my favorite teachers. He still lives in town too, so but at the time, he was a younger teacher at the time. He's still young. He's only in his late 30s, but at the time he was in his mid 20s. He was our age. and so he was he coached the baseball team, coached the soccer team. He was involved in those sports, and he was a huge Devils fan. And so it was there was a funny thing that he put on the test because it was about like the Vikings or whatever. Like it was about like not the question, but it was about like it was something about like the Nordic people or whatever. Where something we're learning about.
Oh,
Like,
I thought you meant the Minnesota team.
No. Funny enough, that was also the name of the name of our high school. We were the Northampton Vikings.
Okay.
But it was some sort of question he asked about like Viking culture that was on there, like some sort of like Nordic culture, and the answers were like it was like a bunch of different names, and then it was like oh like who was the first reported Nordic explorer to reach the New World or to reach this new country or whatever it was, and it was like because it was part of their history, and it listed a whole bunch of names, like a whole bunch of different names. But one of the answers was at that time it was Devils defenseman Adam Larson. And
I know who that is. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a good one. That's a good one, Teach. But I know, like, we all like. I'm curious to see if any non-sports fans in that class actually put Adam Larson as the answer, because it's like we know that's not it. But but
that's freaking funny.
But like this is also why it's like why I think about how sports is now with the younger kids, and how you were talking about like how everybody was packed into that room to watch March Madness, and it's like I look at like this current era, and in my mind I'm just I kind of get I get saddened by it, because remember we were talking about what was this, about a month and a half ago, about the Washington Post cutting their sports section entirely.
Yeah.
And I was like, one of the pillars, especially in this country, is our sports.
Hell yeah.
And how much it's embedded in our culture between our between sneakers, like fashion sense, selling food and drink, any kind of merchandise, like and obviously because capitalism is our one of our principles, our founding principle. So sports has all to do with that. And it's not, and the thing is, sports is good for younger people to get into, because for all the reasons, either getting out of bad situations, or if they're talented at it and they really have, and creating the next generation of athletes.
And by the way, Brandon, I have to jump in on this. Sports is still the single reason I get up every morning.
Yeah,
with excitement and with joy.
I would agree with that.
I woke up at 7 a.m. today, ready to go. Yep. Right? Right, Brandon? You know what I mean? Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to add that in. That's awesome.
People love Christmas Day, or people love waking up on their birthdays or whatever it is. For me, that's, oh my God, VCU is making it a game.
Yeah, I told you this game was going to be good. I told you, circle it on the calendar, baby.
But it's for me, my version of Christmas is the first week of the NFL season, MLB opening day, the opening night for hockey.
First day of March Madness.
Yeah, first day of March Madness. Like, those are my, the first game in October, or hell, like I said, when I went to ALDS game 1 2 years ago at Yankee Stadium, that I felt like a kid on Christmas. I got to see a playoff atmosphere in the Bronx for the Yankees. So it was like, it's those things that, they always, that's why I just don't like the narrative that people kind of push, that, there's, or like that I see all the time from older people saying, it's just a game. Why do you take it so serious? It's not a game.
I freaking okay. This might be the most heated I ever get on this show.
I've heated about this too.
We'll
get to your question.
Oh yeah. Sorry, real quick. Mr. Wilt C says, "Can I ask, how'd you guys come together to talk like this?"
Can we say that for the end of the show, because it's a great story?
That's a great way to wrap this up. Mr. Wilt C, I appreciate that question. I'll leave it up just so that we
don't forget it. Yeah.
Don't forget it.
I want to make you guys full screen for this. So
okay, sounds good. All right. all right.
Okay,
but
go
yeah,
ahead,
thank
Scoop.
you, Mr.
The,
But yeah,
the
So-
sport the thing where sports is just a game. Who cares? I hate
Yeah.
this. Please go.
So
Yeah,
so
I hate it.
so I get that now. Again, I've gotten that from some people. Shout out to people like my friend out west, Victoria Valdez, who just says it to irritate me, which whatever. She'll do it deliberately just to instigate me. But like there are people who who will actually say that and actually mean it and whatnot. And let me tell you something. And this again, we all have kind of gotten personal at times. And I'm going to get a little personal here. When you have, like, for example, when I was growing up, like, I'm pretty open about the stuff that I've dealt with my legs and whatnot, and the fact that I started watching baseball around age 7, age 8, and it was about 3 or 4 years after that where it was like, damn it, I want to go out there. I want to play this game. I want to figure out how, and I want to go out there and play this game. I had a surgery when I was 11 solely because I wanted to be able to play baseball for the first time. And I played the next season. I was a corner outfielder for a 12U team the following year. But even just beyond the actual playing of it, because just again, realistically, like the experience and talent imbalance was just so stark at that point that it wasn't going to be a long-term thing, which was fine. I was grateful for the experience, but
it's about having fun. It's about having fun.
It's about winning. I'm sorry, but
when you're
So
a kid, it's about having fun.
Not for me. I wasn't like that. I got pissed at my teammates when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I'm like, bro, if we're not trying to win, what are you here for?
Well, see, and I'm going to give a couple, we had guys on our team, Josh Alcorn, Josh Phelps, a lot of Joshes who were like this, but the amount of, but we had people on our team, and I'm talking 12U ages, who were CC level pissed when we either, especially if we lost in a way that was bad. Like, these were not teams that were like, we're just here to have fun, or we're just here to whatever. No, these teams took it damn seriously, and these coaches were passionate, and this was not just a job or just or whatever to them.
And by the way, can I
was
pause you there, because I think this is important. I think this is important for all your parents out there to listen to what Scoop is saying when he continues, because this is something that I see parents do, and it makes me really upset. Yeah. There is a level of competitiveness that you should have playing sports. It's very important, but if you don't teach your kid to be a kid and just be, just have fun, be competitive, but be a kid, then you're not parenting your kid to be a successful adult, because they lose, because that's something that happened to me growing up. What happened to me growing up was I was so focused on school. I made sure that I had an outlet, whether it was football, March Madness, whatever.
That's part of what I'm getting to.
No, but that's why I wanted to pause you there, because I want any parent listening to this show, anyone who's a parent, what Scoop is about to say right here deserves to be like put in bold. So please go, Scoop. I just wanted to preface it because this is so important.
Because so here's the thing. So if you got, especially guys out there, if you think at 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, the ways that you met a lot of your, or get close with a lot of your friends during that period of time, you were probably playing a sport. You were probably out doing drives, one thing or another. I couldn't drive at the time. I didn't get my license at 16 like a lot of other people did for for the reasons I expressed earlier. I wasn't out there playing sports at those ages for, like I said, but it was the being involved in writing about it. I started writing when I was, I think, 13 or 14. I was blessed to write for 5 different websites. And I'm still in touch with a good number of people with whom I wrote to this day. And I went to the winter meetings for the first time at the age of 14 in San Diego in 2014. And I went the following year to, I believe that was either Orlando or Nashville, one of the two.
I think you said it was Nashville. I think that's what you said.
That sounds right.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, and then I know in 2019 it was in back in California, because that was I was there when the Garrett Cole thing happened. But my point in bringing all this up is because, and like a lot of us do, went through some pretty crappy times in high school, both in school and out of school.
Yeah.
And when that clock went down at 2:50, I wasn't running to, go to be able to go and play a sport. I wasn't running to be able to go and, be involved in a club or one thing or another. But I damn sure was going through, and I was going down the Fangraphs rabbit holes. I was going down the Statcast rabbit holes. I was reading Bill James books. I was reading the history of these things, like the sabermetrics books and whatnot. I didn't know from day to day, like none of us do. None of us know from day to day what the world's going to look like. But I knew that in some capacity, whether it was off season or the games or the winter meetings or whatever, in some capacity, baseball was going to be there. My love for it was going to be there. And my ability to do whatever I could to get involved in it, whether it was on the field or as close to the field as possible, was going to be there as well. And it's still there to this day. And I'm almost 26.
And that's the thing, Scoop. That's why I knew where you were going with this.
Yeah.
And this is why, this is why, and I'm always gonna try to remember this as a parent. Like, for me in my life, I didn't have enough of just like being competitive, yes, being focused, yes, but being a kid. And I think just being someone who is enthralled in a passion because they feel like a kid when they do it.
Yeah.
And I hope if I ever have kids, that's something I'm going to try to instill in them, is like, yes, be competitive. Find your passion. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's gaming. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care what it is. Find your passion, work hard at it, but don't lose the factor of having fun while you do it.
Absolutely.
Don't ever
I would
lose that,
It ties back into that quote. What are they, for people, especially for people who want to do this as like a job or a potential way to make money? What's that quote? I'm paraphrasing it, but do what you love and you won't work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And
yes,
and
like
and
paraphrasing it. That's the quote.
And that's why, and I can tie
NBA.
this back into, and I'm saying this kind of humorless, but kind of humor, but kind of not. And Rob is like, Rob will sometimes say, I've asked you guys for a lot this week in terms of one thing or another, and I'm like, bro, I would do 4 shows of this per week if we had enough content for it, and if there was like enough material for it, and one thing or another. I don't get tired of doing shows. I don't get tired of this type of stuff. The only reason why I ever got burnt out of writing is because it wasn't interactive enough. That's why I would say I lost the itch that I had when it turned in terms of writing specifically, because this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be interacting with people. I wanted to be saying my takes, and I wanted to be getting stuff back in return. I wanted to have people say, "Oh, that's interesting. Let's talk about that." Or I wanted people to be flaming me, saying, "Where the hell did you come up with that? That's a bullshit take."
Dude, I've done the NFL offseason takes that you have. I'm like, dude, you've
lost your fucking mind.
I've lost my mind, because it's like,
yeah.
The NFL, like, and by the way, this is the thing with you and I think Brandon notices this as well. And Brandon, you should chime in on this as well. I think what's kind of fascinating is, I know you come from a baseball background and I come from a football background.
Yes.
And so the ways in which these sports approach the offseason, trading, games, they're so different. So
night and oranges.
Night and oranges, baby. That's a quote.
You gotta put that on a shirt.
Yeah,
I want to put that on a shirt. So
Night and oranges, Peachtree. But Brandon, why I wanted to bring you into this is as someone who is, like a lot more versed than even we are at all these different things. So I know you and I especially can sit down and talk about F1. You know what I mean? Like that, even if we don't watch F1 all the time, it's kind of fascinating that we're able to do that. But do you notice those differences a lot more than even Scoop and I do, in terms of like the differences between these sports and just the cultures surrounding them?
I think, it's, I get like growing up. Wow, this game is tied with 11 seconds left.
This is great, man. This is good basketball, baby. We do it live, baby. This is good show. Cut.
I deliberately don't have my TV on because you always complain that my TV is too loud, and now I'm missing the damn game.
This is
I
the
just have
one
mine
day
on
where you
mute.
need your TV on. Yeah, just have it
Yeah.
on mute.
All right. What channel is this thing on?
TNT, baby, TNT.
Yeah, TNT. But
You can have your TV on, just keep it muted.
yeah, that's what I do. I keep it on mute. But it's so, and then that's also why I was trying to find the words as I'm watching the last possession here because I'm like, I want to see what happens. But it's like, but you know, when it comes to sports, right? And any sport, like I grew up with kids who like a lot of my friends were predominantly soccer guys. They didn't care about the other sports.
Same here.
And or I you know, and then Adam and I we went to school since kindergarten, but Adam and I didn't really become best friends until we started playing baseball together in Little League, or hell, I think it was minor league at the time. So the league before that, we were about 9 years old. We started you know, playing on the same teams and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, but in those sports, it's like pretty much all my friends, you know, the way I bonded with them, like initially, is like because all my friends have come since about grammar school, middle school. All my friends are lifelong friends, and and the way that I got to talking to them growing up was, hey, what kind of sports do you like? You know, and it was stuff like that. It was like, you know, it was like, hey, you know, oh my God, VC is gonna have a chance to win it.
What? How do you fumble that?
Wow. You know what's crazy?
God.
You know what's crazy?
Look at this.
So-
Look at how do you drop that? I know he has doubled, but like, wow.
You guys are ahead of me.
Bro,
Oh
it hit off
my.
everything. It rolled down his arm. It rolled off his arm. He hit his own face, and then it still rolled off. It rolled back off his arm out of bounds. It hit him like 4 times.
Oh
How
my
the hell do you
God.
fumble that bad?
Oh my God! Welcome to March Madness, baby.
This is why you don't let a white man handle a basketball.
Yeah, I would say that.
But
Oh my God!
Yeah. Oh, and then also we have more upsets on the top because number 11 Texas is beating BYU right now.
Yeah,
So,
I picked BYU. That wasn't good. That wasn't good.
I don't even remember who I picked. I have to go back
they-
and look.
Wait, Texas was a first 4 team. They barely won their first 4 matchup.
Yeah, and Texas A&M is beating St. Mary right now. It's 44-29.
Damn it, that's not good.
And so,
Yeah.
but as I was saying, the culture in sports is so different depending on the sport that you play or that you grew up watching, whatever it is. But it's like, but it's also how you meet people of different backgrounds too.
Yeah.
Like it's funny how sports can be so different like that.
Yeah,
But yet, just that term that
together,
umbrella,
so
but
together.
it's that umbrella of sports that unites people.
Damn
so
right.
so
Exactly.
it couldn't be more different, but the end goal is always the same.
Yeah.
And it's so like, but the culture of it is what I love, because the thing is too, for people that play a different sport, you can understand, like you might understand your sport and then teach somebody, you know, the sport you love if they're trying to get into it.
That's what you guys are doing. That's what you guys are doing with me with baseball. I don't
And
understand
that's
a
what you're
lick about
and that's
baseball.
what you're doing. That's what you're doing with me with soccer, to the point where literally I just turned on my TV, and you know how your TV will stay on the last channel you had it on?
Yeah.
I turned on my TV. My TV was on Unimas. I didn't even know what channel Unimas was, and it was there because I was watching a La Liga game the other day.
Like that, but
Yeah,
that's but
see,
that,
exactly.
that's how cool that, you know, that is. It's like you can just turn that on and watch it. Like it's like you know, we've rambled for so long. The last hour we've spent talking about, like, you know,
But this
but-
is good. This is good.
But
This is good March Madness
that's a prime
content.
example. Is, you know, we lose track of time because this isn't just like a, you know, oh, let's go on for 1 hour and you know, and then, you know, we're waiting for the buzzer to get off.
like it's like
yeah. But that's a thing that I think Brandon, I've kind of spearheaded this, but Brandon's helped me a lot. The thing with you, Scoop, that I'm trying to get you to realize by watching soccer and like UFC and stuff like that is like,
I still have to download that video game.
yeah, bro, we should play some UFC 5. That game's fun.
I'll download
basic-
it after the show.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll download it as well. But what I'm saying is, that's why I'm at, and I think Brandon knows exactly, or will get what I'm about to say here. It's like the sports world outside of America is so vast and so interesting, where you can even be the most casual fan of global football or soccer and still be able to talk about it with someone down the street. Because it's so, and that's why I'm trying to get you into football in particular, and then like MMA and stuff. Is because for Brandon and I, like, it's an even bigger escape than us talking about football or basketball or baseball, because it's like it's a different world for us. Does that make sense for you, Brandon? Where you feel like you get to explore different cultures, different worlds because of sports in a way.
Like, you know what it is too, is like when you meet any new person, whatever it might be, like the first thing you're not gonna ask them is like, oh, hey, but hey neighbor, what's your politics? It's like, no,
it's stupid.
It's like you want to make small talk, so you might ask your neighbor, hey, look at the weather, what wonderful weather we're having, or hey, did you catch the game last night?
Exactly. It doesn't matter what the game was. It doesn't matter what the game was anywhere in the world.
And then they might say, well, no, I don't watch that sport, but I was watching this last night. It'd be like, oh, it'd be like a baseball fan talking to a soccer fan. So it's like,
exactly.
And you find that common ground to converse.
Exactly.
I met most of the people I know down here, even people in my own building, to whom I might not have just had like a if you want to say an in or like a kind of a common, like I'll see somebody who is wearing a sweatshirt from this NBA team. I saw somebody, God bless their soul, yesterday, who was wearing an athletics hat. I mean, shucks. I mean, the last gal I dated because she was I met because she's a New Orleans Pelicans fan.
And by the way, Scoop, that's why I'm so happy you're getting into soccer, because I think what you're beginning to realize slowly but surely is something that Brandon and I realized when we were young, because Brandon knows this from watching Portugal. Soccer, football, especially in Europe, because it's so big, like you can walk down the street and connect with almost anyone about global soccer. It is the ultimate sport of connection between people and cultures and things. And I don't know how much you're seeing that now with some of, I don't know. Are you seeing with like the crowds? I wouldn't these La Liga games and stuff. How nuts they are.
I mean, I wouldn't even say I'm scratching the surface yet. Like I'm saying, like I'm barely at the surface yet of getting into stuff like that. But I mean, one microcosm I can use. So I told you guys the way that I became a Newcastle United fan in the first place wasn't even through a Newcastle United fan. Back 10 years ago. It was either the year that Leicester City won or the year before.
I think we determined that it was the year before. I think
no, it was either the year before or the year after Leicester City won. It was one of those two.
Yeah. So 2014, 2016.
And I was doing some work at my school. Actually, I was doing some work for a guy. Shout out Robin Mitchell, who was at the time was leading the summer program that my school was known for, and I was in there doing some paperwork for him. It had nothing to do with sports, and I don't remember how it even came up. But he started talking to me about soccer, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I've ever watched a soccer game in my life, and that was a year after the World freaking Cup was being played. I went to a World Cup party, still didn't know what the hell was going on. I don't even know why.
We're drilling it for a reason, man. We're getting ready for the
I don't even know why they invited me to that. I'm so grateful they did, because I love the guys that went there. But I don't even know how I got invited to that party, because I didn't know the first thing from soccer. But anyway, so he starts. He starts talking to me about the EPL, and he starts talking because he was from the UK. I don't remember where in the UK.
The amount of people I connect from the UK just because I'm a Chelsea fan is stupid. It's so stupid.
So I ask, what are some teams I should look at to try and learn a little bit? He starts dropping names like Everton. He's dropping names and one of the teams he suggests is Newcastle United. I watch a random Newcastle United game not long thereafter, and I'll never forget the guy who became my favorite player for years until he left about a year or two ago to go to Portsmouth, I think it was, Matt Ritchie. This guy, I don't know what it was, but Matt Ritchie he was kind of like Sean Couturier for hockey for me. He caught my attention almost instantly. just the aggressiveness with which he played, the fact that he always seemed to come up in big moments, and also moreover the fact that he stayed with one team for I think it was 7 or 8 years, or club for 7 or 8 years, which was unheard of in this day and age.
It's not a thing anymore.
Right. So I had immense respect for that, especially when NUFC got, I think, relegated twice in that period of time.
Yeah, because you're not a great club until recently.
But my point in saying this is just that, like, you know, I didn't really know what to talk about with this guy for whom I worked, and it got me into something, and it got us to talk about something to the point where I was going and watching the Leicester City footage from the year that they won, and the sort of the lead up to that.
That was special.
You know, the lead up to that, and you know, and all of that, and he and I conversed about it was either, I don't remember if it was about NUFC or if it was about Leicester City, but one of our teams we conversed about as recently as 2 years ago. I don't know if we would have gotten in touch again after I graduated, if it weren't for those teams. But we've talked several times since then. He asks me every time he's still following Newcastle, and I tell him yep. And if I see that something great happened to Leicester City, or that they sacked somebody or one thing or another,
you're getting the terms right. You're getting the terms right. You're saying sacked. He's being a real fan. He's saying sacked instead of fired. Oh my God, I'm like a proud dad right now. He said the word sacked.
I don't care. TV. I don't care enough. I'm too American.
He said sacked on TV.
What was hilarious is that the other day when I wasn't even talking about soccer and I used the term sacked, and I was like, where the hell did that come from?
Thank you.
Sorry. Sack to me is still football. Is a quarterback getting drilled.
Really quick, Brandon. Why did you become a Chelsea fan? Because I think it's kind of similar to how Scoop became a Newcastle fan, right? It was mostly the players at the time, right? Like Frank Lampard and those guys.
It was the players at the time. I mean, well, first of all, there used to be an old program on demand on I believe it was on Verizon, and it was something. What the hell was it called? It's called like Goal TV or Goal
TV. Goal TV is still a thing, yeah.
And they used to show nothing but soccer highlights, like from like all the games every week. So whatever. So Chelsea was really good at the time. What a stuff!
That was gross.
My
God!
Chelsea was really good at the time, but so you know that they had
you guys
so many
are like
guys.
5 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah, they had so many guys that I really loved watching, but my favorite player literally at the time at that, because I was maybe at 9, 10, 11 around there. My favorite player at the time was Didier Drogba.
Oh yeah, Didier. Yeah, bro. All of a sudden, scoop some Didier Drogba highlights. Didier was nasty.
Yeah, he was a hell of a striker.
Yeah. Nasty at the time.
So watching him growing up made me want to just watch more of them. I don't keep up at every game, but
I follow it. I have the notifications.
You update me on it.
So I update you all the time, and the update is usually "We suck, goodbye." That's what we've had the last 2 years.
Yeah, when I texted you guys last week about Chelsea, you were like, "Oh, I don't care," and I'm like,
"No," because I'm like,
I don't care because we lost we lost on aggregate 7-2. We lost as much as you guys did. We got roasted, man. But we got smoked by PSG this week. The last two, we got roasted by them this week, man. Roasted as bad as you did.
That was another kind of landmark situation that kind of got I started following it more a little bit. Was when I think it was PSG when I hope I said this right. Mbappe got that
Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe. When he got that, what was $1 billion contract a few years ago from PSG.
I think it was a crazy ass transfer fee is what it was. I think it was $750.
Something like that.
It was something of that ilk. But that was another thing that I remember my following of international football or association football becoming another level was I was like, I got to look more into this. And that's where I kind of learned more about. learned a little more about like transfer fees and and all those different things. And of course, you getting me into Football Manager, to which I was addicted for about 4 months.
Dude, Football Manager's great. Isn't it just a great way to learn the sport?
It is, especially when you get fired after 1 day somehow.
You get sacked after 1 day so much.
Oh I got sacked after a press conference, and I was like, damn, this game's actually pretty realistic.
It is pretty good. I'm always so impressed, Scoop, how you grew up playing like managerial games. That stuff is so monotonous to me. I don't even know how you do that.
That's why when I tell you guys about Madden, and I say I've been playing Madden for 14 years, there's probably 5 franchise modes that I played where I didn't actually actively play a single game. What was interesting to me was the how to make teams better on the roster was because keep in mind, my major segue with sports was going and watching Moneyball. I'll never forget Jess McMacken, who worked at my school, told me about Moneyball for the first time. I went to see it with my paternal grandfather, and that movie literally changed the course of my life because I was a sabermetrics nerd from then forward.
Yo, Brandon and I are so focused on this game. This thing is insane.
Yeah,
we can't even.
I want to listen, but I want to watch.
Yeah. By the way,
real-time updates from you guys than I am from the freaking TV.
Okay. By the way, oh my God, Scoop, you know what? I'm gonna blow your mind with the video game stuff for these other sports in terms of like what you can do.
By the way,
it's kind of crazy.
Since Scoop was mentioning Madden, we did play our game today. So
what was the how did Scoop act? How well did you play?
He played well in the first quarter. It was all downhill from there, though.
Yeah. Did you get some lag? Did you get some lag issues?
In the first quarter, it was terrible. I almost couldn't play. The lag was bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, my lag continued after that. But what gets me, and I'm still trying to break the habit. What gets me is I try and do what the opposite of what Nick Sirianni did in the playoffs. I try and get that extra score right before the halftime. I usually, and when I should do an obvious run, I usually throw a pass. It's usually, poorly executed. I throw a pick. It ends up turning into either a pick six or a shortly thereafter touchdown. And I put myself behind by an extra score. And then it just goes downhill from there.
Bro, it's so funny because when you talk about Madden, Scoop, you remind me of when I first started playing competitive Madden and how bad I was. At the beginning.
I mean, you guys know this is the first league I've ever been in. I've never played competitive Madden before.
But that's the thing. Like, it's competitive between friends, but like that's the thing, Scoop. Like, you just remind when I first played competitive Madden, my first game I lost like 50-14.
Yeah,
like you just have to learn it. You have to man.
You know what pissed me off about this game today early on? Like I was like, oh my God, I might actually lose to Scoop because I was like,
I'm so offended by that.
Well, I mean, listen,
you're getting better. But Scoop, if I lose to you, I will break my television. That's that's not to offend you, but that's just how I feel at this point.
What pissed me off early on? It was like on Scoop's first touchdown drive, I should have had a pick 3 times, and Madden just did not let me have it.
I know.
He would throw a pass into triple coverage. I would click onto the DB, and the guy would drop the ball. I'm like, catch the damn football.
That's probably to make up for the 4 times my receivers would just be standing right there with nobody on them for the next 6 yards, and they would just AJ Brown it.
By the way, how broken is this game for you guys?
Oh, it's bad.
I mean, first of all, I'm grateful. I'm grateful we weren't on a party because the stuff that I was saying to myself, I'm grateful Brandon didn't hear.
Like the game turned on pretty much one play. Scoop tried to tie it before half on a 2-point.
That's what I was talking about,
and I stopped him. And then because you could. Now listen, I don't fault you for going for that. But the thing is, knowing how you play defense, that's what made it a 2-score game before half because I scored again right before half.
Yeah.
So that's where the game changed.
Yeah, because it was 14-12 in his favor, and then.
That's cool, dude. Okay, Scoop, I'm sorry. You just saying that makes me happy. The fact that it was that close is you're improving, dude. Yeah. Take it step by step, baby. We love it.
That's why I said early on. Some of it was a little cheese with some of the first 2 touchdowns. But at the same time, like his play calling leading up to that was like I noticed it was better than what I saw the first few times. The play calling is better.
All I want from you because we're in I think week 10. All I want from you by the end of season 1 is just get good at the game, and you're doing it. You're doing it, baby. We love it. You're doing it.
Oh,
what I had started doing is just because I haven't played competitive Madden before, and it's not really easy to go on and actually play exhibition games. Like you can go and play play now with other teams, but it's not the same personnel, so it's like a different.
It's not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
No.
So, but what I tried to do is I went back into they don't call it the tutorial, but what do they call it? Where you can
skills trainer. The skills trainer is great. Yeah, skills trainer is great.
So that's what I'm doing, and I'm literally going through every single individual one, and I'm just practicing different things over and over. What the fuck?
Oh my god!
VCU is gonna pull off the upset when something crazy happens.
Bro, I think I picked VCU. Let's go.
The fact that this guy, the announcer, just said this guy has some major onions is hilarious to me.
Oh my god!
Oh, what if he misses the second? He tried to cheese the second free throw. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I've seen UNC games against Duke that weren't this.
Dude, this is March, baby.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you're missing your star player. To be honest.
Oh yeah, he's injured. That's why I didn't pick him.
Okay. Give me one. I gotta check my bracket at this point because I cannot remember what I had. The only thing I remember having is that I have Michigan winning it all.
Which I like.
Texas is still ahead of BYU by 11, but there's still 7 minutes, so that's nothing.
I'm gonna turn that game on after this is over.
Yeah.
Foul him. Okay. Oh my god, they took like 0.4 of a second there. Oh my god.
That happened. Yeah, that's all it takes to foul. But yeah, they basically if he makes both free throws, it's over. So
guys, I think my bracket is still perfect.
Is it actually?
I'm double checking, but I think it is.
Did you check your round? Well, yeah, but the round of 64 is not over yet. So
I'm gonna check. Yep, I'm still 100%. Yep.
Oh my god.
This is the longest I've been 100%. It's 620 PT. This is
what's crazy? North Carolina blew a 19-point lead halfway in the second half.
Yeah. I'm still 100%. Don't ask me how. I'm still 100%.
I'm at 81%, and I have and I have UNC winning this game.
I think I had VCU winning it. Bro. Okay. I know that we've kind of told the story before, but the first kind of piece of the story from Patrick that I want to know from
I'm gonna put this up.
Yeah, from you guys, Scoop and Brandon, is how did you guys meet again? Because I think that's the more interesting.
We actually remember this differently because what I remember is that
VCU gets the dub. Oh my god, VCU! Get him out!
Oh man, I know JD's not happy.
Guess what? I picked VCU. I'm still good, baby. Except Texas is gonna screw me in the next 5 minutes because I picked St. Mary's.
Yeah, my final I had I think I had Michigan over Duke.
That's good.
But anyway, so last we discussed this. Last we discussed this. Brandon and I remember this differently. But I remember I'm pretty sure it was during COVIDism, and Brandon and
I remember COVIDism. I'm about to. Who says COVIDism? Me. It's like you act like COVID was this giant ass thing that we just injected into our veins. Like what is happening here?
Well, technically,
yes.
Let's not even go there. But in any event, so it was either sometime I'm pretty sure it was 2020. It might have been 2021, but I remember there being a group chat on. I want to say it was either Snapchat or Instagram. It was Instagram to which both of us were added. I swear it had something to do with Nicole Gizzi, but I do not remember 100%. But you and I, we realized quickly we were both Yankees fans, we were both Eagles fans, and again, that kind of just that's how we started talking. And then we kind of spoke sporadically, I would say, and every so often and whatnot, and always enjoyed talking sports with you and whatnot. And then it was early into 2025. I had conversations with Kenny Kirkpatrick, and I was like, I want to get a second guy on What's the Scoop. And I kind of had been, I wasn't outwardly doing this, but I had kind of been, as I had guests on, I kind of had been, I don't want to say auditioning, but I kind of in the back of my mind been thinking like, okay, who's going to be a good fit with me on this show, and somebody who brings their own element to this that not just makes the show, like not just sticks with what the show already is, but can help elevate the show to what I want it to be. And I thought, and you came on, and I mean, people who watched that episode know that episode went for freaking 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just was, you approach sports in a different way than I did. We had a lot of interesting dialogues about whether it was games or about rosters or one thing or another. And it's just, I was very easily locked in to having you come on about halfway through that episode, I would say, because it just there wasn't really any one specific thing that happened, but just that episode went so well, and I was like, this is what I wanted this show to be like. This is how I wanted this show to go. And you didn't really hesitate when I asked you to join, and I was really excited about that. And then you introduced me to these guys over, I think it was like July, I want to say it was. Maybe
it was draft season. It was April.
Yeah, it was on
draft season.
That long ago?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of freaking out. I'm just sending this to people because this is it's 6:25. I know that my bracket's about to bust in 6 minutes. Guys, it's 6:25 p.m. Pacific and my bracket's still perfect. I've never done this well in my life. I'm losing it right now.
Well,
this is unbelievable.
This is why the three of us are here, because this is how much we love sports. But it's funny, I love that Patrick asked this question anyway, because it's like I quite literally like am the connecting thread between
everybody.
Both of you.
Yes.
Because Scoop and I did meet through that IG show. Well, we both knew each other, went to Seton Hall before that. So
yeah, but
we never
we talked sporadically, but
yeah,
not
then
every day like we do now.
Yeah, and I ran into you a couple of times on campus, and we talked a little bit, and then we both graduated. Whatever, we were still keeping in contact on Mud Sports, and then that's me. Yeah, and then early last year is when you asked me to come on the show, and you asked me out of nowhere. I was like, I know we're talking about sports before that, but I'm like, why is he randomly, why is he hitting me up again? And then I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that, fine. And then, but also in the same, literally the year before, or not the year before, right? I should say when I graduated, when me and you both graduated, like a few months before, pretty much it was around. I want to say it's around my birthday. It was definitely when it was still cold out, around my birthday in 2022, or maybe about March 2022. I had my internship with Rob and I's previous employer, and we quickly found out that pretty much like when I jumped on, Rob, you were already spearheading a bunch of NFL stuff. So
a lot. I felt like I was the only guy in that group, other than you, and that's why I connected with you, that actually cared about what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, like the rest of them kind of just used it as something like to put on their resume or whatever.
Yeah.
The rest of them just didn't take it seriously, or couldn't come to like the shows or whatever, and it was like, so it was hard to do shows consistently because the other guys just were never around. So basically, Rob and I had a Yankee show at the time, and I had an Eagles show on that app, that site that we were on. And so Rob would come in if I needed somebody. If one of my guys couldn't make it, he would come in and be like the guest co-host on it.
Dude,
Or-
do you know how many shows I would do during a week during that period?
No, I know you did a lot.
I did like 6 shows a week. It was brutal, man.
Yeah.
Jiminy
brutal.
cricket.
Yeah, I know you did a lot. And the thing is, but like in the NFL, on the NFL shows, when there was like, when they said, oh, there's no limit to how many people can be, in this, it was
That was
basically
awful.
like,
The limit
like,
was 9 people. It was
like
stupid.
Twitter Spaces and how many people can be in there at one time.
What the hell is Twitter Spaces?
Like,
that
so
used to
anybody,
be a thing. Or no, it's
No,
still a thing. Is it?
it still
a
is.
thing. Yeah.
Anybody can basically create a Twitter Space, which is like a live talking circle, but like a
Is it like
live
IG Live just for X?
pretty much.
Kind of, yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
Except-
Okay, well,
except-
I'll be right back.
Yeah, except you can't see the person that's talking. You can hear them, you can't see
You
them.
can't see the person. It was exhausting.
But so basically, our previous employer, it was like that. So it was like we had everybody jumping in these damn calls to do shows. So there'd be like 10 of us there, and nobody can get a word in edgewise because everybody would just be arguing over the same topic for like the last hour. Like somebody would say something that someone else disagreed with, and we'd be stuck there for like an hour. Just
I could never moderate before I
Yeah.
go do my thing. I could never moderate because there was 9
Yeah.
flipping people. I couldn't move damn
Yeah.
topics. I couldn't moderate anything.
And it was hard to talk to the other guys because the other guys would just like it would almost be like first take on steroids, because it was like everybody was just trying to like say that they're right, you're wrong, shut up. And I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, listen, like hear it out. And Rob and I, through doing those, like we would hear everybody else. But then when Rob and I would go back and forth on it, we realized, hey, we're on the same page here. We see it the same. And or if we disagreed, we were able to still engage and go back and forth. So,
Yes.
as the shows went on and guys started leaving for other internships, and everybody started graduating and things started thinning out, Rob and I stuck with it. And Shane was on there a few times, so I got to know Shane because Rob introduced me, like, hey, it's my buddy Shane. And so that's how Shane's with us now. But I met you through school and through a group chat that had other, I think, Seton Hall kids in it, but
I'm sure it did. Yeah.
and other Eagles fans and whatnot in it, and through school. And I met Rob technically through school because I found the internship off of the school website that had other internships on it, and or the app that they used through our school to get internships. So I met both of you pretty much through school. It's just in different ways.
Yeah.
And when I was like, hey, all these guys love talking sports. All these guys love talking with me about sports. So I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm like, and then when you said, hey, you want to do the show last year, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm fine with that. Perfect. And then and then same thing with these two. Same thing with Shane and Rob. With Shane and Rob, it was like the three of us, we had the best kind of chemistry going back and forth. So it was easy to do shows. Like it wasn't like there were some guys that we had on those shows back then where it was like it was either too much dead air or it was awkward or it was something was always
I've
like
had those experiences. Yeah.
yeah, or it just didn't make sense. Like it was like or what they
Just
said
felt disjointed or whatnot.
yeah, or what they said didn't make sense. Like I was like, okay, I'm like, you're not getting the point here, that we're trying to make. And so we would have to like transition. We had to find ways to transition to other topics or whatever. So, but it was stuff like that, and it was, so it was easy. So the three of us found that easy, and then obviously we did others. After we got off of that place, that's when we started jumping around to all these different networks and different sites and whatever.
The connections that we've made along the way have been incredible.
Yeah,
I think.
Am I tripping nuggets, or were y'all on a Charters podcast at some point?
yeah, we
No,
were.
that was how that happened. It was because of fantasy basketball. I connected with people through fantasy basketball, and that's how we got on that. It was through fantasy basketball, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
It was through me playing fantasy hoops. So
By
we got really
the way,
lucky.
I want royalties from their website because they still have our pictures in their banner.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
You know, the guy who connected us there, he left.
yeah,
And we still talk with him. We still love him. He's a legend.
yeah, he's awesome.
We love him. Dan Bespris,
That's Dan.
who,
Yep.
who took care of us. I love Dan so much. That dude's a legend. We wouldn't be where we're here now without him. I love
Yeah.
that guy. I love that guy so much. What he did for us, even
It's
even though he's the basketball guy, I love that guy.
It's like while all the other guys that we worked with in the past or connected with, while they all kind of faded away, it's like the core group has remained the same.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's where we are now. So it's like,
Yeah.
And to kind of close the loop with, like, you talked about, how I got involved with that. I remember you inviting me to what the hell is he talking about? I think this is the first show Scoops joined. Oh, I think the first show.
Yeah.
I did because that's what I thought the apparel was. Like I was the amount of time.
Code.
This is the problem, man.
I spent let me okay, I'm gonna explain, because so here's what happened. This is how it started. I got told at a formal for my fraternity, Alpha Phi Omega. I got told because it was a co-ed, I got told by my friend Rachel that this show that talks about sports in the New York area was looking to have somebody join on and talk baseball for a short segment. At the time, the show ran for, it was either an hour and a half or 2 hours. And they wanted somebody to do, I think it was a half an hour segment on baseball. So that's how I started on the show. I wasn't originally on for the full show like I eventually became. I was originally on for a short period of time. My first memory of that show is being asked to sing Philadelphia Freedom. And I'm pretty sure that was by Paul Rosen. I don't remember how that came together, but I remember that. But again,
either your shows are too serious or too loose. Where's the middle ground, man? What's going on?
I saw this as, even though it was what it was. I saw this as, this is a professional thing. This is people I don't know. This is an audience that's never seen me before. I want to give the best presentation of myself possible. That was both with my work, my contributions, and with how I presented myself and all of that. So yeah, that is entirely true. Excuse me.
Assume the tie, man. Wow, that's incredible.
And mind you, I joined the show in May, so I'm sitting in my dorm room in a suit and tie for an hour in the mid to late spring every week. And I was just trying to mask the fact that it was in there. But it was amazing. I'm extremely grateful that that was kind of what helped us get off the ground. But then going back to this past summer, I expressed interest in wanting to be on the show. I thought you guys were just going to want me on as a one-off. I was going to maybe say something about
well, we needed someone new at the time, and you just kind of jumped in at a good time.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing when I brought that up, I had no design. I had no idea that it was going to be a multiple time thing, and if it did, I assumed it was going to be like cameos here and there. But the show, and then it became a second show, and both of those just went so well, and I had so much fun, and I thought the chemistry just hit so well, and like Brandon loves to emphasize, we've all got different backgrounds and all bring different pieces to it. I was just like, let's go. And it's so cool how, we talked earlier on, during the association football period of like the segment, or I wouldn't call it a segment, but while we were on that topic mainly, we talked about sports bringing people together from all over the world. It's the reason why we've got somebody from New Jersey, somebody from the Seattle area, I'll say, and somebody from upstate New York who now lives an hour away from the Gulf Coast, on this show tonight. And we've got people from anywhere from New Jersey to friggin' Hawaii, tuning in, and extremely grateful for every single bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
It's a long-winded, way.
It's a long story, man. It's a long story.
No, but it spans 6 years. There's really no way to easily condense it.
Dude, I've been working with Shane on it, dude. For me, it goes back to like 2012. when Shane and I
Well,
first
you guys,
came up with this
you
idea.
guys are best friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and then I met you guys at almost around the same exact time. I started really talking to Scoop. So it was
Yeah.
like everybody kind of just was like, just everybody just kind of fit. So
Yeah, all the pieces kind of started just falling into place. It's
Definitely.
but I mean, hey, I mean, we were talking about hoops earlier, because we're watching March Madness. I mean, that's how some of the best teams of NBA history came together. Is there was one guy there, then another guy came in, and he brought his friend over, and then they went on and were unstoppable.
I hope I don't mean to be self-centered here, but I hope you guys are enjoying all the background work that I've been doing on these shows the past few weeks, because this has been a lot of hard work
yeah.
No,
to figure this out. It's
that's
been
the furthest
tough.
thing from self-centered is, and again, I keep going back.
I just want to know if it's good. I don't want it to seem like too much.
It's beyond.
Oh yeah.
It's beyond. No, it's beyond good. And I could just tell from that first meeting with Kenny when he was showing you all the graphics and one thing or another about what you could make possible with this. I mean, even down to the nights at 2 a.m. when we're just randomly trying to look at new graphic possibilities on on this, that, or the other. And we're kind of just like riffing off new things, even if they're things that we know are never going to actually go into the show itself. Just seeing how your mind works, but always your mind is always trying to. And this is another thing that I wanted to also add on the show as well, on top of the content itself. But I'm not good with creativity. I'm not good with graphic design. I was never good in art, like that visual effects stuff. I mean, the original shows. If you go back to the original shows, it was my big ass. It was my big ass head. Like even before Brandon got here, it was my big ass head and a caption at the bottom that says, "What's the scoop?" Episode number with Ryan Scoop Williams. That was the extent of it. So like, I wanted to bring on somebody who was much more knowledgeable of that and much more, and frankly, just enjoyed it more. I don't enjoy doing that stuff. And
I enjoyed the minutia of it because I think it's all about giving people information and having something unique.
Absolutely. And it's you've even talked to us about ideas for which you haven't even been able to implement yet, because some of them are time specific, like the draft and whatnot. Which, by the way,
some of them are financially specific because we just don't have the finances to do a lot of it yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about it at even more of a basic level than that. When we you talked about some ideas for the draft that I'm really excited about. And I think your eye and mind for those things, and the fact that you are constantly thinking about, like, you have that Derek Jeter type mentality where it's like you're obsessed with always wanting to get better and always wanting to make people around you better. And that's the type of thing that I mean, that's one of the many things I respect about you and appreciate.
And I appreciate you saying that. But for me, it's like that's been something that I have tried to understand with all these shows, is like not only how I can get better, but how we can get better. Because I feel like the most important thing is like, I tried to lead on a lot of this stuff, but it is a unit project. I genuinely could not do this shit alone. I can't. I don't have the capacity. I'm not like that's the thing with doing this show, Scoop. I'm not an analyst. This is not. This doesn't work for me. I make it work, but it doesn't work. I'm not an analyst. This is not my. This is not my expertise.
No, but it's also ow, my shoulder. But also I think because we also, like, all three of us had been on, what is it? 5 months of FAH 3 times a week most of the time, unless Rob kicks me off because my throat hurts a little bit.
Dude,
and
by the way, I was very close to that the last couple of weeks. The amount of throat pain I've been under, the amount of just pure pain.
I asked you to take a break if you needed it.
Dude, the amount of, but I don't know how my throat's doing. I've been so close, dude. The amount of pure pain I've been in.
Are you still in pain? Are you still in pain today?
Yeah, absolutely, I am. Yeah, it's only when I wake up though, and it's just like.
That's fair, because I know you're.
It's just soreness, man. It's just
this guy recalibrates his sleep cycle for every. I'm pointing to the wrong person. This guy recalibrates his sleep cycle for every major sporting event. I respect the crap out of it.
It's ridiculous, and I still need to take a nap in the middle of the March Madness because my brain can't handle it. It's too much basketball. It's too much basketball. Why is there so much basketball?
We all love
The last-
sports, but we can't do what you do.
The last ridiculous thing that I woke up for at an ungodly hour was waking up on Black Monday at 6 a.m.
That's you know there's a thing called a phone. You can see.
What do you mean a thing called a phone? What do you mean? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Call Ian Rappaport?
But the thing is, on Black Monday, I don't get up. I just wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy got fired. Okay, this guy got fired.
No, see, for me, it hits different when I'm actually watching it in real time. When literally the guy is getting the phone call on the television.
I see where your head's at. Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah,
but and then of course the human that Brandon's and my team had to replace as on the Coach Sirianni staff. So obviously I was up quite a bit early mornings when that was getting close as well. And then we got the Sean Mannion curveball thrown at us, which I'm
a good curveball.
About.
That's a good freaking curveball. That was a good freaking curveball.
That's what I'm saying. For which I'm increasingly excited. And we still got somebody else on there anyway by bringing in Josh Grizzard.
Yeah, I was going to say that curveball that wasn't
bizarre, maybe.
That was a cement mixer slider and Aaron Judge at the plate.
Wait, Michigan. I'm updating our bottom line just before
that was an ethos.
I'm updating our ticker just before we get off air because a bunch of these games ended.
Okay.
Michigan, bro. I didn't notice this because I didn't put the game on. Michigan beat Howard 101-80. They're the first team to hit 100 today.
That makes me feel good about picking them to win it all. That makes me feel good about picking them to win it all.
It also scares me to give 80 to Howard though.
It does scare me. That's a little scary, but to score 101 though, it's incredible.
With that level of physical exertion, I mean, they probably were just like, hey, you know what? Let's pound it offensively, and we it doesn't make a major difference to us if we give up 65 or give up 80 if we're going to win by 25 anyway.
But do you know how absurd it is in March Madness to hit 100 points?
Yes, I do. Because
absurd.
Because unlike the NBA, you don't actually see 150 to 135 because players still play friggin' defense.
Oh, we watch Big East basketball. 100 points. What's that? We don't know what that is.
Yeah, you don't know what it is exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's because our guys shooting a three is like watching Chris Carter try to hit a breaking pitch.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. But no, I was like, I'm just updating our bottom line now because I was like,
who's on my screen? Who's on the screen right now?
Are you watching TBS? Are you on TBS?
No, I still have TNT on.
Yeah, put on TBS. Put on TBS.
I don't remember who that is, and I should.
Guys, put on TBS. Texas BYU is crazy. Put on TBS.
All right. 247, I think. Yeah, 247.
I love that you still have channel numbers. That's like not a thing for me anymore.
What the hell do you use?
YouTube TV doesn't have channel numbers. It's just, hey, this channel is this channel.
I mean, I have the same carrier here that we had growing up, so I've memorized pretty much every channel number that I ever need.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one thing I never experienced growing up is channel numbers, like big long channel numbers. I only had that.
The longest one that I use is 3 digits long.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
Is like Unimos like this giant channel number? Is it
You've also got
like 408 or something. Most of the Latin channels or the Spanish speaking channels are in the 400s.
You've also got like if you ever use Music Choice on like the music channels.
Yeah. Oh no, I know what that is. Never mind.
Music Choice. Yeah,
those are 4 digits. Yeah, those are like 18 something or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So, on DirecTV, I think that they're in the 700 or 800s. But I haven't checked in a while.
I used to have
the 1800s.
I used to have Frontier, which was one of our local providers here, and it was so
Frontier used
funny.
to be what our local baseball field that used to be. It used to be called Frontier Field. Now it's called Innovative something or other.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this. It was so funny because I remember watching March Madness. So you have CBS, TNT. Are we doing a 3-hour show? Yeah, it's March Madness. We're watching the games over board. What do you want me to do?
We do the show as long as the show needs to be.
It's March Madness, dude. I'm watching basketball. Who cares? Like, it's fine.
And Nicole, let's be honest. If we ended this show, what would we be doing? All three of us would be on Discord watching
basketball.
The only difference is that the public now gets to see how crazy we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but basically, what happened when I used to watch March Madness is, so you have CBS, TNT, CBS, TNT, TBS, True TV. My True TV was in 380p in college.
God.
So I would watch it on this
what is
tiny ass
380p?
screen. I think we've talked about this. Do you know what is it?
I know what like 480p is, and I know what no, it's not 480, 440p I think it was, and then 1080 or something.
Yeah,
wait, 1080.
What is it? Is it pixel density? What is it actually, Brandon? Do you remember?
Why
is it called P? It's like pixel density or something.
It's apparently like the amount of pixels that show up on your it's how many pixels you can pretty much see on your screen at one time.
Right, with the eye,
or how many pixels make up the screen. So if it's in 440p, it's gonna look like crap because you can actually see the pixels. If it's 1080 or 4K, whatever it might be, the pixels are so small and there's so many on the screen, it's clearer.
So there's
aren't they coming out with one that's like more than 4K now? What's it called?
No. We have 8K and then they're developing 16K now. 16K is the next evolution.
No,
I feel like 16K is gonna make me have a headache.
Well, here's the. I think we've had this conversation before, but it's a fun conversation.
And then I have some news to break after that.
What did you find something that I couldn't find?
Probably.
Anyway, why are you always ahead on me on this? Why do you get the notifications in a second later? I get.
They don't call me Scoop because I eat too much ice cream.
That is true. But basically, what I think. So it's 1440, 240, 360, 480. 720, so that's SD, standard definition. Then HD is 720, 1080. Then Ultra is 4K, 8K, 16K, and then whatever we go to next.
I didn't even know we had 8K yet.
Dude, in 8K television, I've never seen it in person. Because here's the thing, and Shane's explained this to me because he uses a lot of 4K cameras. 4K on like a computer screen, like a small computer screen like this, doesn't really work because it's too small.
Exactly.
But I have a giant ass like 55, 60 inch. I think it's like 60 to 65 inches. 4K TV. That's why I play you guys really well in Madden, because I just see everything. The field is ginormous to me. And it's upscaled to 4K.
And yet I'm still you haven't beaten me yet, and I'm running 1080p.
Yeah, I know. It's bad on me. It's bad on me that I'm running 4K and I'm getting roasted by you in a paltry 2012 1080p television. It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Listen, man, it's not the TV to me. It's the stick skills. It's like because I remember because that's what you were telling me before, Scoop, was like, oh yeah, like my team overall is better and all. And I'm like, yeah, but it's how you use it.
I wasn't understanding because I was like my overall was better, my offensive rating was better, but like you said, it's the sticky skills. Yeah.
But also, I've noticed this. I don't know. I mean, Brandon, you play. I know Scoop plays a lot of sports games and more managerial stuff. But when it comes to like RPGs or shooters, because I know that you play some of that. Mm-hmm. Do you notice how bad the lag is in Madden? Oh. Like the input delay compared to like even just a basic shooter. It's so bad. Like readjusting my mind from playing like an action adventure game, an RPG, a shooter, and then going to Madden.
Oh, when I like
it's unbelievable.
It's crazy how I downloaded Deus Ex for my Series S.
I was gonna do the Deus Ex thing, yeah.
And Deus Ex looks, and this is a game from what 2010.
Yeah.
or 2010 to 2011, right? Like 09 to 11, one of those years. And that game, an Xbox 360 game, runs better on the Series S than Madden 26.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like
It's
like
unbelievable.
it does not lag at all. I can play it. It's so damn smooth. Like, graphics wise, it looks like it's in 720p, whatever. It's a little bit unpolished because it's an older game. And that's what they ran on.
But you have because you're playing on Series S, you have a lot of graphic upscalers, which is also part of it.
And then what's crazy is though it looks good for an old game. I'll tell you that. It runs really well. But the thing is, it looks really good for an old game, and it runs just fine, no issues, no problem, nothing. Like today, I'm playing a scoop in the first quarter, and I'm cursing in our group chat because I'm like, bro, the lag is so bad.
I wasn't even looking at the group chat because I was cursing at my TV.
Because the problem is like in the first, like especially with like your first touchdown, when it was like 3 different times I should have had a pick, and the game would not respond because it would I would go to click on, and I would literally click the button to click on to the guy that was nearest to the ball for the pick. It wouldn't register the click on until after your guy basically caught the ball.
It takes like, 10 seconds to click on. It's so bad.
And that's one thing that annoys me about Madden in particular, especially because and you also got to keep in mind so we're playing All Pro, which is already one difficulty higher than I normally.
All Pro competitive, which is even harder than All Pro Sim.
That was the next thing to add. Is we go one difficulty up. We're going to competitive, and we're adding in the volatility of the long distance internet. But anyway,
if we played all Madden, because I'm used to all Madden, so
you'd roast everybody.
Worse.
You would roast everybody.
Yeah,
Wait, by the way, I've recognized this with Madden in particular. It has nothing to do with our internet connection. The game is just bad.
The game is just bad. It can't handle it.
It's not our internet connection at all.
I realized that because I came down here from New York like 2 weeks ago, and in theory, the connection that I have here should be less than the internet connection I have back home. My Madden runs better here for some weird reason.
But that's what I'm saying though. And by the way, the fact that we can do this show without any hitches should prove to you that Madden should run. Their servers are awful. And by the way, Brandon knows this as much as I do because we play like FC and like FIFA in clubs and stuff. It's the same problem.
I tried FC a week or two ago and I didn't care for it.
Oh,
it's fair. It's not a great game.
There's times where we're playing in other games too. It's like, or especially like when we play FIFA, when we play the Pro Club stuff.
Even NHL, all these EA Sports games are fucking laggy as hell. Excuse my language.
It's like
so bad.
It's like raw. Like I usually play as a striker and I'm pretty good, and it's all like
I'm a midfielder. Yeah.
So it's like I'll be like Rob, like I'm open, like pass me the ball. I'll hear him click the button, and on my screen it'll be like 5 seconds later, and the guy's already stepping in front of the pass to take it away, and I'm like,
exactly, and that's what's happening on my screen. I click, you hear me clicking the button. It's unbelievable.
Well, and that's one of the issues. Obviously, in terms of when you talk about Madden, pick the issue in any given second, but it just the amount of times I'll click a play, and whatever, but you already have the volatility of just the actual play in terms of were my guys blocking correctly? Usually not. Were the receiver and then he'll just throw some dumbass animation at you where it's like, oh
my god.
Where it's like, okay, you're gonna throw, and this happened to me twice today. Okay, you're gonna throw a straight on pass, and it somehow is gonna hold up early or hold up long enough for this guy to break physics, levitate, and pick it up over and intercept it over your receiver's head.
Because it's not physics. Do you guys? Okay, I don't know. I've explained this to Brandon. I don't know if you know, because Scoop, because I know you play mostly sports games. Do you know what animation canceling is? Have you ever heard the term animation canceling?
No.
In games? Okay. So, the best, let me see. What's the best way to explain this? Let's say you have, okay, this is going to sound really bad, but this is the best way I can explain it. Let's say you have a knife, okay? Let's say you and I are video game characters, right?
Yep.
And your goal was to stab me with a knife. or melee me or hit me in the head, right?
Mhm.
So let's say we're trying to. It sounds bad. Let's say we're trying to stab each other, right? And you you're trying to stab me. Let's say it's like a sword or a knife, and we kind of like it just locks because we're just hitting each other, right? Boom, boom, boom. We can't partial through. Well, how those games work, who do animations, is like, let's say you're in the middle of like trying to stab me, but you realize, oh, he's also going in too. And you're like, okay, screw this. Let me punch him instead because it's open. What a game does is it does this animation, like it does boom, and then right as you're about to hit me, it turns into boom. It just flows. That's animation canceling. That's going from this into this in a split second because you clicked a different button. Madden doesn't have animation canceling. That's the biggest problem with the game. Madden 13 is the reason for that.
Bring back physics-based, though.
Physics-based, exactly.
Because, listen, as much as people crap on Madden 13, it had physics-based tackling. It had physics-based animations.
Stuff. It's not, and that's why you don't have to worry about animation canceling. But that if Madden doesn't want to bring back physics, sure, but bring back animation canceling. Why when I'm trying to cut, right? When I'm trying to cut to the left, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need to cut to the right instead. Why do I need to wait for the animation to be cutting to the left to finish before? That's not how gaming works.
If you guys ever played the real old Madden, well, not real old, but like Madden 06, 07, 08, like those games, you were able to chain animations together.
That's called animation canceling. Chaining animations is animation canceling.
How screwed up is it that with less advanced technology, video games were better 20 years ago?
They were.
At least in sports they were. In other genres.
I said in football.
Yeah. My bad. But yeah.
Like, do you know how slug? And it's crazy. And also, like in real life, that this doesn't make sense. Like, obviously, because I have Bijan, right? Like, I'll see one of you guys go.
Yes, I'm aware you have Bijan. I tried to kill him 3 times.
Yeah.
Rob, can you turn on injuries, please?
No, I'm not turning on injuries. I want to play with my. Okay.
If I want to Greg Williams, this guy, that's my business.
Scoop. My backup left tackle is Anthony Bradford. I rather not have him see the field. Thank you.
So it's because of who you drafted.
Backup. No, it's because I don't want to play you guys with backups. It's boring.
To be fair, Scoop, most of the time when I'm gashing you with Bijan is because your defense is spread out. And I just run straight up the middle on you.
Yeah, but running is broken his game. Running is so easy.
It is.
No, it is. And it's just it. And again, the last 3 games pretty much that I've played, I'm pretty much using my middle linebacker and pretty much letting the CPU handle almost everybody else on the field.
Which is exactly what you need to do. But the problem is, it's like, oh, I'm using a linebacker. I'm covering this guy. The guy who was supposed to cover the other receiver didn't cover him. Even though I have it set up for him to cover that dude.
Do you know, there was times where I'm audibling a defense and I'm getting set.
You talking today?
Yeah. And I'm watching like Dallas Goedert get open, and I'm like, there's supposed to be 2 guys on him out there to the sideline, and I'm like, why is Cooper DeJean coming in on like he's like faking like doing like a DB blitz? Yeah, I'm like, bro,
you didn't set him up to do a blitz. Stay in the zone.
I'm like, if you stay in your damn zone, I pick that ball off.
I also, at least on offense, I didn't really do this on defense because again, I'll be completely honest, I'm still learning about defensive matchups and whatnot. So a lot of times I'll usually use one of the recommended plays. But also at the same time, but when I was on offense, I mean, you saw it. I pretty much audibled out of almost every play that I ran.
That's why and that's one thing I told you about was that if you don't like the way I'm set up or whatever it is, don't be afraid to change it.
Don't stay in the play.
Don't stay in the play. That's why also whenever I saw how your defense was, if you have it's like in real life, if I see 7 guys in the box, I'm not gonna run that. I'm not running that football.
I'm not running unless I know hey, my offensive line can actually gash in this situation. I'm going to do it anyway.
Like the only
Yeah.
time, the only times,
And I try to prioritize drafting offensive linemen for that reason.
yeah. And
I know. By the way, we've all prioritized drafting good offensive linemen. They're all ass because the offensive lineman physics in this game suck. They're
Yeah.
all terrible.
Wait, and speaking of which, because I saw this when we ended our game, and I had 278 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns today. But sorry, Scoop.
No. I'll tell you what pissed me off, but I'll wait for you to be done.
But I was watching, but afterwards I saw Rob's thing. I'm like, oh my god, did Shane actually shut you down?
Okay, let me explain
How
what
does Jonathan
happened.
only have 44 yards?
Let me explain what happened. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I got weathered.
The hell's that mean?
It's a new Madden term. It's called getting weathered that I'm creating. It's called getting weathered, which is, and I don't know how much you guys have experienced this, but heavy rain, heavy snow, guys slip. So Shane, he has the Seahawks, right? Well, guess what we have in October in Seattle? Heavy rain.
Yeah.
So my guys are slipping, and 12th man. You remember the CFB squiggly lines? I got squiggly lined on every play. I couldn't make any adjustments.
That is one thing I like that Madden added was like the home field type of.
Wait, so who won?
21-14, Shane won. I had to basically with 3 minutes left in the game. I was like, wait, he's in the red zone with like a couple minutes left, and it was 14-14. I was like, I can't stop him. So I'm going to run a special teams play, give up a touchdown, and try to trust my offense to score.
So, yeah.
And my guys, but here's the thing. I had an animation problem. I ran an outcut to the sideline, to the boundary on the left side. My guy was wide open for a touchdown. And I've had this happen to me for years now in Madden. Especially with Frostbite, because this engine, Frostbite is a Battlefield engine. Why are we using it in Madden? It's a shooter engine. It's not a football anymore. So I make the cut. I'm wide open. I'm like, all right, I just need to make this cut. I have a touchdown. He catches the ball, and Shane's defender sucks to my guy. He literally just sucked and tackled me. What am I supposed to do there? I can't do anything. And it's even worse in the rain because the animation, because of the logic of the weather, it will suck you even more because the players will slip and move. I got screwed in multiple ways. My offense was running fine. And by the way, I'm not saying that Shane didn't play a good game. He played better than me in every facet. But obviously he won. But what upset me was like, I love the weather physics in this game. I love the squiggly lines and all this stuff. But it shouldn't make my offense completely unplayable. It shouldn't make it that unplayable, that unrealistic. And that's what happened to me ultimately. But Shane was just much better, which is partially why you have to pick a team that works. He picked the Seahawks. Guess what? You guys are going to have to deal with it the next few weeks. Going to Seattle and that, it's hard. It's really hard.
I mean, not for nothing, but not to brag, but because you lost him, I'm okay with that now. If I have to lose to him because I won the division pretty much.
Yeah, the division's over. Yeah.
So
I just got to make the playoffs, but still, it's going to be hard. Like I was so surprised with how much of a difficult, and it's credit to the devs. And it's a little bit much, and it needs to be patched a little bit. But the fact that like the 12th man has an impact, the fact that the weather it's a really good thing with this game, even if it's a little much.
It's just that guys should not be slipping on every single
play.
It's
a little bit.
I get it if it's like every 3 plays or whatever, or a couple or a few plays.
It's every play. It's every play.
Every play. I'm like, no, it can't be every play. That's not realistic. That doesn't happen.
Before we go, this is a great question from Kenny. Who do
I
we
was-
think will have a better
Yeah.
season, Bijan or Gibbs? I think it's a huge toss up for me right now, just because of their
I-
situations.
I think right now, though, I think Bijan's slightly better because he does better. He's the thing is they both have home run ability. Now, what's scary is now Gibbs is now the sole back in Detroit.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that's part of why I was going to lean Bijan.
But Bijan also doesn't have his running mate anymore. Algier went to
Bi-
Arizona.
yeah, but Bijan still
but-
did most of the heavy lifting.
He did, but and also like that was one of the few, and I mean Detroit here. That was one of the few offenses we've seen in the last few years that truly kind of split between two backs. a
Two back
lot of the
system,
time.
100%.
Yeah, I would definitely say that Algier was clearly the Robin to the Robinson Batman there.
You know what I want to see? I want to see what happens. Obviously, in the rest of free agency and the draft before I figure that out because right now I'm taking it at face value. I like Atlanta top down, like in terms of what they do to play to Bijan's strengths more than that because Detroit's also lost a lot in this offseason. And they didn't have a great year last year. So I'm worried about, and now that he's the lead back, now I'm worried about him doing too much and getting worn out or shut down, trying to be a workhorse.
That's going to be the interesting thing for even fantasy managers to figure out between both of those guys this year.
And last year, Bijan was the better running back overall, better straight up running back rushing yards wise. He had over 200 more rushing yards and was a better receiving back. Like Bijan was basically CMC last year. So I think it's tough. I think Jahmyr Gibbs will have more touchdowns. I think the better year overall though will be Bijan. Like in terms of rushing yards.
I would agree.
I think yards per carry, receiving yards. Like Jahmyr Gibbs is your big money guy, your big play guy. But Bijan is your everything guy. He's a receiving back. He's a pure running back. He can get you touchdowns, though not a lot, but he gets you those touchdowns when you need it. Like Gibbs is that constant touchdown threat. Bijan's the better complete running back. So that's kind of how I rationalize. So for me, the slight edge is Bijan. Plus, I just like the coaching staff now that Raheem Morris isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I didn't like Raheem ever.
I like I said, if Atlanta last year, they were just one quarterback away. I'm not saying Tua's going to be the answer, but
or Penix.
But I still think that that's still better than what they got last year in total. So I still think they're going to be better this year than what they were last year. So I'm hedging it. As much as Detroit's the better team overall, I think Atlanta has the better situation for Bijan to succeed also. So
Scoop, do you agree with that? Because I'm in lockstep with Brandon here. I think he's got the right thought process.
Yeah, I think. I think there's a good amount of legitimacy there. Like again, I was already going to say Bijan, and I think that he put it really well when he said like the situation there is just better affixed for him to succeed, and also just the if Detroit leans on the passing game more this year, which makes sense when you lose a great running back like that. So if they involve, was it Laporta, or is that the tight end up there? Is it
Sam Laporta? Yeah, they need more of him this year.
Yeah, so involving him more, hopefully getting a little bit closer to the golf that we got 2 years ago than the one we got last year. Things of that nature. Whereas I think that, and also keep in mind, who's the coach that went into Atlanta? Kevin Stefanski, who led the offense for one of the top running teams almost every year that he was there in Cleveland and going back to his time in Minnesota.
That's what I was getting at too.
Yeah. So I think that there's a decent amount of pull for me for it to be Bijan, for it to be Bijan for me. There we go. But I do agree with the take that Gibbs will have more tutties.
I have a technical question for you guys on my side. and I figured I'd ask this now since I'm thinking that, well, I'm making adjustments to the ticker and stuff. Do you guys hear my keyboard? Is it like way too loud or no?
I didn't hear a damn thing.
No? Okay,
Sure.
because I was a little worried about that. So I just wanted to
No.
ask if
I didn't
my
hear anything.
keyboard clicking is like affecting the audio in any way.
No,
So
I didn't.
okay.
I didn't hear it at all.
Okay, good. I just wanted to double check. But I Scoop, I think that's all we have. 3 hours. I think that's good, man. Well, it was 3 hours because we were watching basketball. Please excuse
Yeah.
us for enjoying March Madness. Like, God's sake.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I'm just no, I will say I said I was gonna Patrick asked, did University of Hawaii make the tournament? I don't
Yes, they
think
did. Yes, they
Oh, they
did.
did.
They played,
lost.
but they did give it a good fight, but they lost today. So
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah,
was debating
They
picking
lost
them,
they
but-
lost to Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah, I think they played well though. Yeah,
That's who
Patrick,
High
I'm-
Point's gonna play next is Arkansas.
Oh my God! Yeah, High Point has a shot. Bro, Patrick, I'm so excited about this coffee, man. I'm so ready to have some of your coffee, man. I'm a coffee connoisseur, dude. I'm so excited.
yeah,
for this.
I'll admit I'm not a coffee drinker, but my grandparents are, so I'll get it and give it to them. And they'll try.
Yeah, they're gonna. I'm so excited. I'm literally I'm bringing a bunch of my coffee friends over to try it with me.
I'll say
Like,
this.
I'm just so hyped.
I'll
Just
say
give
this.
me anything.
You
I
guys-
don't care. I just want coffee.
You guys know I don't drink black coffee, but I will be trying this one just straight up without adding anything to it before I add anything in it, because I want to taste it as it actually is. So this is gonna be
No,
the first
I'm really excited.
this will be the first cup of black coffee I've had since 2019.
You guys are gonna find it so funny when I do the ad read for Iron Coffee, because I'm already kind of working on the ad read. I'm not gonna tell you guys what the ad read is. I'll probably tell Kenny, but I'm not gonna tell you guys until we do the show what the ad read is gonna be. So you guys are gonna think it's pretty funny. It's gonna be like this very professional ad read. And I'm working on it. And
That's
it's gonna
awesome.
be pretty funny.
That's
I'm
great.
working on it. I think Kenny's gonna know. I'm pretty sure I will tell Kenny what it is, but I'm working on it, and it's gonna be different for like different parts of the year. So yeah. It's gonna be funny.
To wrap up, because we were briefly talking about, well, I mean, it wasn't that brief, but we were talking about Madden. I just want to add this because last time Brandon beat me, it was not close toward the end, and he asked me, do you want to take a knee and just run the clock or whatever? And I said, I want you to keep playing me as if this game's in the balance right down to the last second.
I'm a kneel down guy. If I'm
not.
beating you in a competitive game, in a competitive game where I'm actually nervous I'm gonna lose, I will kneel. And I think I'm a kneeler because I'm too scared. I don't want to throw a pick and lose the game. I play Madden.
I was just saying, if he wanted to keep scoring, like don't just do like I was just telling him, don't do it out. You don't have to do it out of just quote unquote sportsmanship. If you can keep beating me, then you're gonna keep beating me. I was telling him not to do that. And then today he takes it to another level. He's about to score. I'm so glad that the mic didn't pick up what I was saying to you, because he's about to score and he pulls a Deshaun Jackson, run laterally to the other end of the end zone before he runs in. And I was like, man. If you want to know how to fire me up playing Madden, I mean, I was already fired up, but if you want to know how to fire me up playing Madden,
home run.
This is what I tell people all the time, because people get pissed. First off, it's Madden. Don't get that pissed off. Second off, the impression that I get when I make these leagues or I'm in these leagues is that the idea is for those 4 quarters, between those lines, those 4 quarters, I'm not your friend. I want to smack.
That's how I felt. That's how
I want to smack. I want to smack you, but I also want to win competitively.
Yeah,
exactly.
Meaning that if I beating you by a lot, I'm gonna chew clock.
I get sweaty when Rob and I play.
Oh my God, me too. I get so sweaty.
Because I'm like, I already know this game is gonna be decided by 1 or 2 possessions. I know exactly what's gonna be every time.
Yeah, and I've had people who I did this the other day. I was like at the 35 or 40 yard line on a 4th and 3, and I was up by like 13, and I was like, I don't want to give this ball back. I'm gonna try to get a first down, and they got pissed at me, and I was like, guys, it's fourth down at the end of the game. I'm not gonna punt it back to you when I think I can win the game right now. I don't like that.
I think I remember. I remember the play that Scoops talked. It was the one play. It was after the kickoff. It was the one play.
How do you not remember it? You literally ran across laterally across the freaking parallel to the goal line.
I'm saying before. I remember it was that one play. It was right after the kickoff. I was like, you know what? I was already up by, I think it was like 2 scores by that point, 2 or 3 scores. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try to start running the ball, running the clock down, whatever, just taking my time. And literally, I knew that this was gonna be a big play before I even snapped the ball, because I see like Scoop's got like 3 D linemen against like my 6 on the line of scrimmage, and I'm like,
oh no,
he has 1 linebacker that's about 7 yards back. So I'm like, if my guy gets to the second level, I am like, if my offensive lineman goes and picks him up, I'm gone.
That's something I need to be better at. Is I need to stop relying on the CPU to recommend play calls for me, and I just got to go and just do that.
I have recommended play calls, and I use them. But the thing is, I have, especially defensively, I have a system that I've always played with in competitive Madden. And I just stick with those play calls and adjust based on what I need to do. And then I also I also use the R3 coaching adjustments. I move my guys back and forth. Yeah, you can.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even find out that R3 coaching adjustments were a thing until like a week ago.
Dude, what's really cool about that is you can adjust like the width. You can adjust like basically like for like a hook zone. If you want them to go really deep, you can do that. That's 30. If you want them to go really close to the line of scrimmage, that's 5. So you can play around with it, and that's what I do. I play around with it to protect myself from different things.
Just the issue that I have is that I've got usually 20 seconds, if that, to do all of that, and I'm just like,
I'm not as fast as like professional players because they're just crazy with their adjustments, but I'm pretty quick. You gotta learn how to be quick.
That's what I was telling Scoop. I was like the one difference. Oh, that was one thing I was telling Scoop today too. It was like the biggest teaching lesson I can give, because I noticed he was doing it today a lot too, and that's why I started kind of pulling away towards the end of the second quarter, and I really pulled away in the third. Was I noticed it like when you start to not panic, when you start to kind of get into that panic mode and you get behind, you fixate on your first read.
Yep.
Well, Scoop, the biggest thing I can tell you about competitive Madden, even if it's like playing the CPU or whatever, and I've had struggles against the CPU, especially against really good quarterbacks like your Josh Allen, your Aaron Rodgers, whatever. Like your mentality should always be, even if you're down by 50, that, oh yeah, I'm going to come back and win. Because I've seen people in professional Madden games be up by 50 and lose because they just get complacent. Yeah. You can always catch somebody being complacent.
That's the thing.
You have to always believe you can win.
And getting complacent is exactly what I tried not to do, which is why I tried to throw that pass toward the end of the second quarter rather than just holding on to the ball and getting the ball back at halftime. Which is just. I think I think that's what happens is that I think I have my approaches right at times. I just think what I try to use to execute the approaches is bad.
It's like a chess match. So it's like, like as you and I were going back and forth early on, even though some of the plays were fluky, but because of the game,
they're always going to be. It's Madden. You just have to live with it.
14 to 12 was the closest it ever was. You were up by 2.
And by the way, Scoop, for you to do that, even 14 to 12 against Brandon that's really good. That shows me that you're actually improving.
That's why I was pissed. I wasn't pissed that he was playing well. I was pissed on the first drive. Like I said, there was 3 times I should have had a pick, and the game just did not register.
Yeah, that doesn't register.
Well, that's another thing that was bugging me out is how did I throw 6 picks with Hurts today? Because
one of them was bad. One of them was that one to your tight end, and he overshot him by like 5 yards.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, that's insane. But the other ones was just good defense by me. But
and there was at least 1 or 2 that I like. One time I just straight clicked the wrong button. But
Yeah.
there were 2 times where I was just like, there's no reason why the ball should have just hung suspended in the air like that, because
Yeah.
because there are times where it's like I get 50-50 balls happen. My receivers almost never come back with a 50-50 ball, but the defenders almost every single time.
The biggest thing, Scoop, that you have to learn, and Brandon knows this, and this is something that professional players know inherently, and they just don't say it to not piss off EA, but this is just factual. The animations are broken. You have to learn them. You have to learn every single animation.
Don't give the game a reason to screw you.
Yeah,
That-
you have to literally know how to fight it, basically.
That's basically what I said to Brandon, is that I was like, no disrespect to you. I said, but I'm basically not trying to beat you. I'm basically trying to outsmart the computer animations.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. You have to outsmart your opponent, but you also have to outsmart the animation.
Second thing, the outsmarting your opponent is half the battle, because you're not going to do that for an entire full game.
Right.
But so it's like that's part of it.
Make the brokenness of the game work for you, basically.
Make it work for you.
Like
and not
there
against
was,
you.
I like literally, I don't know if it was your first touchdown drive or that second one, and it's why I was getting angry in the first half, was because you literally, I had it read perfectly where you had your tight end on a drag, and I stayed like glued to him. I jumped the route,
and it pushes you too forward. It pushes you too forward and too back.
And it didn't register, and he caught the ball for like a 12-yard gain. I'm like,
exactly.
If it would have registered, I would have had a pick.
I had multiple opportunities to get picks from Shane, but the game didn't register it, and I got pushed back because of the rain.
Yeah,
and by the way, this is kind of funny because I played Madden for like hardcore Madden for a good period. I can play any game with lag. I can play like Fortnite with lag play it just fine. It's wild.
But because in Madden, because you already have, especially if you're on defense, you already have such a slight window of, oh dear Lord, you already have such a slight window to make your play calls, especially to make your adjustments to begin with, that like if there's like a lag issue or there's a this, that, or the other, especially because again, I already process slowly, which we've established.
Yeah. Scoop, you have to this is a great opportunity for you to train your mind to process faster. Use it.
That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on.
Life. Madden helps you with that. That's actually something that because you know me, even with CP, I also have a processing delay with stuff. Madden actually has gotten me so much better with processing shit in life.
That's
because of how broken that game is.
That's like why when I play, like when I tell you guys, like I because I've played Madden for so long, and this is just all pro competitive. This is the online difficulty, but I play on all Madden. So all pro to me is so slowed down that I can go wild. That I can go through like I can go through 3 reads in like 2 seconds.
It's wild, man.
Yes, I think that's part of it too. Is that for me, all pro feels like it's going faster than I'm used to.
Yeah,
it is. It's exactly what it is.
See, I skipped all pro. Growing up, I like when I knew that pro was too easy for me, I skipped all pro and went straight to all Madden. I did not do all pro.
My problem with all Madden on competitive is that it takes all the cheesiness that we deal with and dials it to 1,000,000. It makes the cheesiness so much worse.
But I will say it teaches you patience and how to process things quicker.
So, but for a competitive environment, it's not fun.
Well, that's why the online difficulty is all pro competitive. Because if it was all Madden, it'd be stupid. But all Madden teaches you how to process things the quickest, and it teaches you how to kind of make sure that you're training yourself at the hardest level for so long.
So should I just go and do that skill? Can you do the skills trainer on all Madden? Should I just do that?
Scoop, you're not ready for that. You're not even close to ready for that. Don't do that. You will break your television. Scoop, if you play all Madden right now, you will break your television. You are not at the place where you can play all Madden yet. I'm telling you right now.
So I'll do the skills trainer on all pro then.
Do it on all pro. You're not ready.
Build it up.
You're not ready. And okay. I mean this in the kindest way.
No, I know.
Because that's what I realized. dude, you're not ready for all Madden.
Yeah.
You're not ready yet. You'll get there, but you're not ready.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
take a while. You're not you have to beat the CPU consistently by 7 to 10 points before you're ready for all
Yeah.
Madden.
Yeah.
You're not ready for it yet. And even me, I play all Madden sometimes. The only reason I don't play all Madden all that often unless it's Ultimate Team is because I actually just hate the difficulty.
Well,
I think it's broken.
how I learned like how pro was too easy for me. Like from the time I was like 10 years old, I learned it was too easy because I was on pro. I was beating the CPU by like 70.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, okay, I know this is too easy. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to go to all pro because I'll probably beat it by like 30. I was like, let me go to all Madden. And in all Madden, I beat the CPU consistently by about 17 to 20.
That's crazy.
So,
all right, boys. We
Yeah.
got the Illinois game on. I'm trying to watch this. My head is
Yeah.
spinning. So,
last couple of jokesters in the comments. Kenny saying, "Scoop when the Yankees bring back IKF." I'm still upset he went to the Red Sox. And Jody with his usual 2 things about Boone getting fired. I don't know. Smack a trash can and find out.
how about we fire Mark DeRosa first? From
yeah.
Yes.
You know, how would you guys be upset if Dave Roberts would you guys be upset if Dave Roberts was the new head coach of Team USA? Just one last quick thing.
Yeah,
Would you
because
be upset if he was?
he might be as dumb as Mark DeRosa is.
Really?
Yeah. So here's the thing. What
No,
people
Kenny,
say
we're
about-
just doing baseball really quickly right now.
What people
So,
say about Aaron Boone and what people say about Nick Sirianni about the fact that they got carried by their rosters, that's what I think of Dave Roberts. I think Dave Roberts actually has been carried by the talent on his roster for the past.
Dave Roberts literally
I think
can't
that's
fail
right.
with that roster.
Right.
He can't. It's not possible.
Aaron
Sure.
Judge, man. I'm sorry, we're not going to get into Aaron Judge today. Can we
No,
do that after the Giants game on Wednesday, please? Thank you.
No, absolutely, because I could absolutely torch that argument for about 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
um
See, there you go. But no. All right. Peace, everybody. Thanks for staying with us while we're just screaming about March Madness.
no, seriously, I completely lost track of time. I didn't realize it was 9:30, which means it's 10:30 Brandon's time, and that probably means it's around lunchtime for Rob. So
not lunch, dinner. I have a ton of pizza. Do you know how many? Okay, really quick. Guess how many? Okay, let's quiz Scoop here really quick. Guess how many cans of soup I have right now?
how many cans of soup you have?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how many I have, which is about 14. So I'll say 18.
Yeah, I have about like 12, so around you.
Okay.
Guess how many cups of ramen I have?
Oh, you were telling me about this the other day. Probably I'll say 2 dozen.
Yeah, like 30.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. And then other food, I have like 20 other things I have to eat before my parents get home. I'm talking breakfast burritos, pizzas, orange chicken.
No.
They've just sent me so much food. I'm like, I can't eat this in 2 weeks.
And now-
so much
and now-
food.
Now you're getting coffee.
And now, well,
So-
the thing is, I need coffee to survive
I-
all these damn
I
games.
just got sent coffee too. I just have to get my all the other fixings that I use for because my mom sent me this like protein coffee something or other.
Oh
I gotta
yeah,
get-
the protein coffees are good. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the
but
coffee
I
thing.
got-
The coffee thing is the actual thing I need to
Yeah,
survive
but I
all these
got to get
games.
new oak. I got to get new oat creamer, and I got to get new
Ooh,
syrups or the what's the other
Your-
one? The squirters,
the cream.
the shot.
Yeah, I know. Bro, you're speaking my language, man. Woo, good stuff. All right. Thanks for joining us for the March Madness hoopla. These games
Yeah.
have been great since we've been on. By the way,
fellas.
good
and we've
or
made it-
late window.
Made it, fellas. The next time we're on this show together, it's baseball season.
Yeah,
We've
baby.
made it through another off season. There will not be another show without baseball until November. So
I mean, to be fair, WBC made it start earlier.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball season. There we
Major
go.
League.
Major League Baseball.
All right.
By
So-
the way, that Netflix crew. I mean, bro, the Barry Bonds is a guest analyst.
I saw
What
that.
are we doing, Netflix?
I saw that.
Oh my god, Netflix is going rocker. I love it. Netflix is going rocker. NBC's going rocker. ESPN, step your game up, man.
I love the NBC's with their coming back baseball coverage. I love the people that they've got lined up. I am so excited. Like
It's unbelievable.
we talked earlier in the show about like being more like tuned in and at what like actually just watching games, not doing like 50 things, but like just watching games and about watching other games that your team isn't playing in. You talk about one way to really get PO. What the flip? Kenny wants to ask, Campbell's or Progressive?
Campbell's Chunky Soup. Campbell's Chunky
Yeah.
Soup.
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
I like Progresso, but Progresso to me is way too flat.
Yeah.
Progresso,
I'm a Campbell guy.
Progresso feels like I'm eating Flo from the Progressive commercials. That's how flat this is.
All right.
That sounds bad, but that's how flat Progresso always has tasted like a Progressive commercial to me. Just flat dialogue. Everything's flat.
Anyway,
I'm talking about the dialogue. Like the dialogue in those commercials is just flat. It's just
But yeah, no, the ones that I have are the Progresso cans, but I also have I don't even know the brand, but I got the red ones that have the holes in the top that you just put in the microwave.
But yeah. Bro, if you don't like Campbell's Chunky Soup, you're not a football fan. Those Campbell, the amount of times I want Campbell's Chunky Soup just from Sean McVay being like, here's soup, eat it. Like, yeah, I'm watching football and I'm like, yeah, give me some soup. Give me some Campbell's Chunky Soup.
I've eaten so much soup in the last week, and I still have like 20 cans of it, which is insane. But
I love, I can't wait to have a cup noodle. I haven't had cup noodles in 5 years.
I've never had cup noodle.
Scoop, Scoop, go buy a cup noodle tomorrow. Go buy cup noodles.
In fact, just before the show, I was having chicken noodle soup.
No, Scoop, go. You need to experience broke life. You need to experience being broke. Buy cup noodles.
Being broke.
There's nothing more. There's nothing that says you're 26 and broke than eating a cup noodle. There's nothing.
That's facts. That's facts.
There's nothing. Eating a cup noodle.
So what is it? Is it spaghetti? Is it?
It's noodles. It's a cup noodle. It's ramen. But listen, Scoop. They're like a cup noodle for ages 16 to 30 is like eating a gourmet meal.
Kenny says Ron could be the
soup. Listen, Scoop. Go to the supermarket and buy like a small pack of cup noodles and eat it. It tastes better than steak.
I'll see if I can find it.
Dude, when you're broke, it tastes better than steak.
I'll see if I can find that on Uber. And I oh God, Jody, Jody, they are legalizing too much stuff out there.
Also don't listen to the people that say that you can't microwave cup noodles because it's not safe. I don't care. I ate that for like a decade when I was a little kid.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't like.
I'm on about 25 years of eating raw cookie dough and I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scoop. Go to the supermarket tomorrow and buy cup noodles and it tastes like heaven. It tastes like if you got put up to heaven by God. Like that's how good cup noodles.
Well, you will if you eat enough of them because you'll die of a salt intake.
I know. Just have a small bowl of it.
Is this it? Maruchan instant lunch ramen noodle soup beef?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Does it say cup noodle on the box?
Yeah. Instant lunch is basically cup. It's the same.
No, I found it. It says Nissan the original cup noodles. Does this look right?
Let me see.
Oh my God!
Yes, buy that. Please buy that. Please buy. Are you on Uber Eats?
Yeah.
Buy it right now, please. Buy it right now and give me a review of cup noodles. You will. Dude, cup noodles are literally like a gourmet meal for broke people. Cup noodles are amazing. They're literally like They honestly, Scoop, you might be like your first cup noodle, you might be like, this tastes like shit. Then have them for like the next 4 days, and you will think it's better than steak.
No.
If I eat something 4 days in a row, it's gonna taste like shit to me regardless of what it is.
Here's the problem. We don't want them to end up like you know one of those like Xbox 360 like gamers from back in the day have to put like the Doritos like stuff on their face and they're chugging them out.
No, I'm not asking him to do that. I just want to eat a cup noodle.
That's what I think people already think that I am with the amount of times they hear me talking about friggin' playing Madden in the show. Which, by the way, you want to see a game with lag? The first couple days beta release of the show 26
were bad. I heard they were bad.
That lag is the worst lag I've ever seen in any video game. It was it was 5 seconds between switches down menu items.
Okay, Scoop. When we get off this show, I hope it's cheap enough. Is it cheap? What's the cost of a cup noodle right now?
$6.
Yeah, buy it. Get it delivered to your house. I will literally. I'm so passionate about cup noodles. I will get on the phone with you and eat a cup noodle after this show with you. I have a 20. Dude, I love cup noodles, and I haven't had cup noodles in 5 years.
You can tell.
I love cup noodles.
I can't remember the last time I recommended anything this passionately to somebody. Kenny says Patrick. He was asking Patrick, have you ever put Spam in your soup?
Dude,
and then
kimchi in a cup noodle is pretty bomb. I'm not a kimchi fan, but it's bomb.
I haven't had kimchi since 2023, but it was pretty good.
Kenny, that's a good broke college meal.
Go buy regular egg noodles and buy Campbell's beef broth. That was my broke college meal.
Good, bro. Okay. Anyway, when we get off the show, buy a cup noodle and eat it.
Are we really gonna get off this show at this point?
Yes. We're gonna get off. I don't want Scoop to eat a cup noodle on this show. I want him to do it in his own time.
We are just gonna end up over on Discord and end up just doing this over a video chat.
No, I want to see Scoop eat a cup noodle. This is like now this has become like a life goal, seeing Scoop eat cup noodles. Because
you're gonna see it in about a half an hour.
Dude, this cup noodles are so good. All right. Anyway, we need to go.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Same Scoop.
What did this show turn into? Me talking about how passionate I am about cup noodles.
You spent about 20 minutes just doing that.
Yeah, because I can't believe Scoop's never had a cup noodle. How are you 26 and never had a cup noodle?
Rob, okay, technically I'm still 25, but Rob, okay, see what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get this and then I'll go watch Star Wars 4. How's that?
Don't call it Star Wars 4. Don't stop calling it that. Okay, whatever. Anyway, yes.
Jaden, Rob, and Scoop out. Good night.
Enjoy your cup noodle, Scoop.
I hope
you finally became